Testing. All right. Y'all can hear me. What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. Friday Night Lights addition. And I know this title is a little bit provocative, but it's something that needs to be talked about. This is a good way to cap off the week. Before I head out, let me drop this hour and a half, maybe 2 hour chat. I was going to put some names in here, but the title got too long. And when I say body, let me say it up front. What I'm talking about is, well, we'll get into what I'm talking about. Here's the thing, and I'm not gonna belabor this too long. I'm gonna state my position. So y'all know I was on the panel with Bernard Riley. If y'all don't know that, check it out. And it was really the panel that was talking about some lyrics that Nas said, and we got a good cap off with kind of Brother Ben X and the stream he did. O'Shea just did a video on it. Dennis Sperling did a video on it. And shout out to the lead attorney too. The lead attorney's been definitely representing on a Lapeef show. I know from what I've seen, he's been holding folks' feet to the fire when they're really out of line. So yeah. But anyway, I just got up real quick, so bear with me while I get my gears start rolling. But let me be very clear here. The reason why I said the title the way I said it is because ultimately what you're starting to see, and this is what people fear, which is why you're starting to see these different representatives or diplomats from I'm gonna call it the black gynocracy. And people can argue what the Nation of Islam does internally versus what they reflect outside of it. I can't speak on what the Nation of Islam does internally. I can reflect on what they speak externally when it comes to everybody else in the black community. And quite frankly, what I see is just another version of the same shit. I mean, I do. It's just people don't really expect to really 100% call it out. But it's really the same bullshit. That it's the same bullshit that all these other organizations are doing. Like they got the same tactic. Whether they behind the scenes think differently, I'm not gonna argue that because I don't know. But I will say that what that video was reflective of, and I listened to a good hour of it. Um, in my opinion, when you can't just when it's like when you have so many different people that can't just say what the fuck it is. I mean, it is what it is. But here's the thing, and I was gonna put hood conservative in there, fantastic in the time. I'm talking about in the title is black men's motive. The pendulum you're starting to see the slowly, surely starting to swing is black black men's motivation to have the right and the ability to define their life the way they define it is starting or can be projected to overtake the need and the will of black men to build a black community. You can argue this is pro-black. I should have said pro-black versus SYSBM, but I want to bring a lot of the black manosphere into this because this is really the main difference between folks on this side of the line and on the other side of the line. Because even people like BGS, who is pro-black, understands this. And the reality is that black men fear this because it's kryptonite. And they never found a solution to kryptonite for Superman. They fear this because it's something that it's something that's been kind of like an unspoken thing that you just don't say or just don't do. And now folks are having to come to face with it. It's kind of like if you look at the movie The Eternals, how the plot of the movie if you look at the trailers, it's basically they seeded the planet with an egg that's supposed to be this like celestial, which is God. And then the planet pulls for millions of years, pulls power or energy from the planet until it basically erupts and destroys the planet. And because of the Thanos snap and bring back, that created energy that in 7 days, like it accelerated. So in 7 days, everybody's dead because basically the egg's gonna crack and the egg is actually Earth. This is kind of like how we are in this, except a lot slower. What you're starting to see is, and this is not because of Theo. This is not because of the Black Manosphere. The Black Manosphere is pretty much a reflection of the absolute and completely failure of the African American community to really provide a reason for the community to exist. They have failed as completely as America has failed in Afghanistan. And just like in Afghanistan, where you had this pressure to keep things going, and then as soon as you remove that pressure, then when I say pressure, I mean the bullshit, and you let shit ride the way it does, the training ride the way it does within literally not even 7 days. Basically, everything reverts back to what it was pre you being there. With the exception of they know how to maybe reflect it a little bit better, so somebody may not try to come back and completely wreck their shit again. Literally, all the money, all the treasure, 20 years that was put. You got to think about it. There was Afghans that were born the year that Americans came to the middle to Afghanistan, and they are now 20. Shout out to Theo. Theo said 100% agree. We can't save the community. We need to date out and then make something new. Big Mag, the Fisher, keep working, bro. Appreciate the $5. Appreciate Lee with the 25. Theo with the lead $25. Appreciate Black who with the lead attorney was Rep as F on Red Pill as F on the Lapeef show. Even Anton appeared to be startled by some of what lead attorney said, and especially how he said it. Shout out to the lead attorney, absolutely. And that's why I ignored a lot of y'all when a lot of folks were saying the lead attorney is getting gynocentric. I know what I observe, and I'm not as quick as soon as a black man say something I don't like to really write them off as maybe I am a black woman, because I understand there's different dynamics in form, and I've listened enough to the lead attorney. Yeah, when the proper moments present themselves, he represents. Even on the domestic shit, where a lot of black men would have been afraid, um, he damn sure sets the damn tone in a way, and in a way that Kevin could. And it's good to see other men do that. So shout out to Theo too. Theo was on there with Lil Big Nate. I was actually gonna put Lil Big Nate and Conservative in here in the title, but the title got too long. But I'm also really referencing the shit on Bernard Riley too, because Bernard actually revealed kind of where he stands on a lot of these things, which is good. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he really put his foot down on certain things. And I'm gonna give my commentary on that. And one thing that I observed, because I still believe what I believe. I still, y'all out here talking about white supremacy doesn't exist. Y'all have a right to believe that. I disagree. And the reason why, and I'm going to say, people say, well, doesn't that mean you can't fuck with them? No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the issue, if I believe that white supremacy is what powers the gynocracy, if black men understand that the gynocracy is a problem and is quite frankly the problem and the first problem needs to be handled, the reason why they believe that is irrelevant to me, to be honest. And then somebody told me, oh, well, okay, let's say you deal with the gynocracy. So when it's time to handle white supremacy, then are they going to be a problem? I say no, because the truth is, if you are somebody that thinks the black community needs to be competitive, which these guys, by the way, don't disagree with that, that the black community needs to be competitive. They just disagree with why it's not. Then if you look at it like you look at anything else, providing proper incentives that are acceptable to basically invest in a community, regardless if these people invest genetics in a community or whatever, then it doesn't matter why they do it. They are going to do it if the incentives are there. The problem is and this is why I'm gonna get into it. They don't believe that incentives should be presented. What they believe is black. Shout out to Lateef Edwards with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Definitely support the Cash App as well. What they believe is black men should basically have a blood sacrifice for the betterment of a future version of black men. That it's like they expect black men to be like the 5 Zions that fell in order for the 6th one to maybe have a chance. And BGS talked about this when he did a video about the Chernobyl HBO series, and he talked about the speech that was given, saying that these guys you're gonna die. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna shut this down, this Chernobyl thing down. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're gonna get radiated. You're gonna die. It's not gonna be good. Even if you survive this, it's not gonna be good. Like all y'all gonna die of radiation. But you need to do this not only for your country but for the planet, because nobody else can and nobody else will. This is the mentality that black men have allowed to be presented and that black women have presented in order to basically not help the black community, but to completely forward their ability to basically wreak havoc and be chaotic and do what the fuck they want to do. Because quite frankly, we're going to just say, I don't even want to say that they're insane because that removes accountability, but because they have no fucks to give. They have already given up. That's the reality. Is they gave up in the 60s. They gave up in 68 when they sided with white women, and this is documented. Not no bullshit that they want to talk about with black men and the white manosphere. Black women sided with white women in law. Black men have never betrayed black women that way. So all that bullshit about the 10 years and motherfuckers think we copying people in this the white manosphere, which is a goddamn lie. Number one, even the Matrix was written by a black woman, number one. And number two, these white guys really started to understand what they talk about, understand what they were starting to go through from our experiences. And then a lot of shit they talk about, they pull from fucking us. That's the reality. They copy us. We don't copy them. They know, a lot of them know who the fuck we are. We don't know who the fuck they are. Because we don't talk about them like that in this space. Unless you deal with a couple of people that are kind of in between over there. That's facts. We talk about problems and we frame problems very differently because we frame problems as we deal with it. And that doesn't have to be, the reason why is what it is. But, shout out to Tyler Ruff. He's got a TikTok, physical fitness TikTok. Make sure y'all support that. I'm gonna have to start sharing that. Theo is right. I already took that step. Keep grinding it. Absolutely. And so the reality of the situation, and regardless of how people try to keep this shit secret and all this other bullshit, it doesn't matter anymore. Because what these guys have essentially done is they've essentially said, I'm going to protect. I'm not, and this is not even a slick disc. They've said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to use the thing saying they pretend. These guys have said, your reality, I don't accept. Because they see, just like how I say black guilt and black ego are the two chains that tie down, black men and keep black men. What's that Titan that has to hold the world on his back? I forget that Titan, but he sentenced to holding the world on his back for eternity, kind of like being a sin eater. Sometimes these things spin in a direction you may not intend, but you still have to acknowledge it. And a lot of these brothers see that using racism as white supremacy, they see that as a real weapon. Atlas, shout out to James, as a real weapon that has been designed to socialize, program, and forever bind black men into a subversive position to black women. They say, I'm not even going to say they believe it, because to them it is true. And these guys will go as far to tell you that racism is not real. I am not here to argue that. What I am here to tell guys that believe, that say it is real and believe it is real, is this. You all need to understand that these guys are more motivated for their own freedom than you are motivated to save the community. Now, anybody that's pro-black, there will be something in you that will tell you this cannot be true. This cannot be true, because most guys that are pro-black can't believe that there's such a thing as a black man that does not kiss the booty hole of white men. There's no such thing as a black man that will compete with a white man, but they also will tell you that racism is a figment of your imagination. This entity does not exist in the minds of pro-black men. And a lot of guys fundamentally do not believe, and this is where you all are very mistaken, that these guys one-on-one can beat you. And when I say one-on-one, yeah, I can argue in the physical, but I can also argue in the more important, which is the economic. These guys find a camaraderie that really syncs them up in a way that, quite frankly, black men need to be synced up in order to actually do something for ourselves, to even exert the force that's necessary to exert in order for the irony is, in order for the black community to actually be something worth dealing with. Because these guys see a very strong camaraderie in them being ostracized by greater black people. And make no mistake, these guys are not ostracized because they are lame. They are not ostracized because they want to assimilate. They are not ostracized because they turned on the black community. They are ostracized in their perception. And quite frankly, you can't really argue it, because well, in different faces, for instance, the pro-black face being controlled by not only black women, but the lower classes amongst us. The hood culture tries to justify itself through big wannabe being pro-black, even though you damage the black community, and then you turn around and then say you want to be pro-black. That bullshit. So there should be no, shout out to Go Professor for $5 money for the plate piece you ever in the chat. Shout out to no one. Basically, what's in it for me as a black man? What's the trade? What do I get for my sacrifice and duty? Ladies can't answer that or don't want to. And it's not, and right now, it's not about the ladies. It's about the dudes. Because the dudes are the ones right now that are starting to try to press the paint every time you turn around. Because they operate as diplomats for the gynocracy. They operate that way. And one of the things that really kind of, I didn't really know Bernard really believe that to that extent. But once you start hearing black men tell you racism, that first of all, we can argue first of all, what they were arguing is prejudice. But racism, and by definition, is a system of thought. But again, it's not about arguing it, because the argument is irrelevant. It's like talking about religion. What is a king to a god, and what is a god to somebody that doesn't believe in them? Especially if they don't have the ability, if in your mind they can't, it's not like they can throw lightning on you. What do you do to someone that says, I don't believe in God? If God is real, strike me down now. I curse you. And nothing happens. What happens if you say it 1,000 times and nothing happens? This is what you are dealing with a lot of these guys. And the problem is, this got to this point because black men just refuse. Black men, for the blind love of their women, no matter what they do, we're gonna call it dear mama syndrome, because has basically low key said, no matter what the black bitch does, we're gonna be like a loyal dog, and we're never gonna do anything. We're never gonna go against that. This is what the black church decided, and they're gonna make money at the same time. And we created a whole community around this somehow, and nobody wants to really. We're not even talking about the women. I'm talking about just the dudes now. These dudes can't even speak truth to power. So they, even when I did a video with Jay Speed and this situation he had with Pablo, BGS is in here. And nobody can never be direct. Everybody got to talk around shit, or they got to speak in code as if we're on the plantation. Because the fear of what? And what I saw with that, and yeah, some of them guys were being fair, but for the most part, what I saw with a lot of those guys that were representing on Brother Ben X's panel was like 6 hours long. Like I said, I listened to like an hour and some change. Is black men are emotionally led by black women. Black men look at their North Star of what is right and wrong, not by their own logic, their own honor, and their own reason, but by what mama thinks, what mama feels. And in this case, God Theo is the myth, the mythology of black men need to sacrifice their lives to overturn white supremacy. And so I've given you all the whys, but what you need to understand is guys, because this is not the entire manosphere, but guys like this are extremely motivated. And I would argue in the law of attrition, they are more motivated than guys are to save the community. Because when you look at Generation Z and Generation Alpha, if guys, these guys, and they do believe they should build their point, you will not be able to get around this. See, what black men have been able to try to do is pretend it doesn't exist. Shout out to Obsidian. He did an interview today. He might still be doing it with Courtney Michelle of the Lapeef Show. And I may play a clip from the Lapeef Show, but one of the things they were talking about was domestic violence. And when does a man have a right to protect himself? And the lead attorney basically tore some of them females' heads off. And he said straight up, I have a right to defend my person from anyone. And it doesn't matter if I'm 6'3". Lee Turner said he was 6'3", so we know he's not no short nigga. So for all these, this goes back to Tasha K talking about he wasn't getting no black pussy. We know that nigga was 6'3". So let's be clear here. Ain't no 6'3" niggas not getting no pussy unless they damn near fucking antisocial, like clinically undiagnosed. Let's just call that what the fuck it is. So that shit's cap. We can, now that we know that, we can officially say that shit's cap and projection. But he said that doesn't give, I don't care what's the height difference, that doesn't give a female the right, a 5'3" female the right to just willy-nilly hit folks. Now we know that women that want to really get something done to you are going to use proximity violence. They're going to use weapons if they have to. It don't matter if you 6'3", they're going to hit you in the sleep. They're going to find a way to hurt you if they want to. And you letting them do it even in a small way will escalate. Also, I'm 5'5". And just because I'm 5'5", so what? Does that change things? Does that mean I can knock a bitch out? See, just the definition of looking at height as a measure of manhood is dumb as fuck. But this goes to show you how stupid these females are. And by the way, the lead attorney is married or was married. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if the lead attorney was married to a black woman. I'd be interested to know that. He said dudes were cyber. No, I know, Ray, I could believe dudes were cyber simping on Obsidian. Because when I went up there initially, I didn't go up there. When I went before the video started, like, niggas were only commenting on how she looked for the most part. Like, maybe 70% of the comments, like the chat, before the video started was basically she's cute, she's adorable, she's this, she's that. So I already knew what time it was. And I see that in the opposite when dudes, like, when there's women that actually can drop some real information, like financial information, they got the receipts and stuff. Dudes don't want to hear that if they ain't trying to fuck. A lot of dudes don't like the shit Love Dorsey got to say because they ain't trying to fuck. Because it's something, I guess, really, it's not even about the tats. If Love Dorsey didn't sound like she sounded, dudes would let that go. If she sounded even like A to Z, dudes would let that go. And so we already know what it is. So we already know what it is. And that's what a quote unquote conversation with, we already know what it is. But, Obsidian's going to do what he's going to do even regardless. But my point is, the biggest thing I want to communicate to you all is these guys are more motivated than you. They're more motivated to fight for their freedom and their right to do what they want to do as they define it. Fuck what a bitch says, whether they're black, white, or otherwise. Then you are motivated to save the community. And what you need to understand is, just like black women have been seduced by the dominant society and basically throwing their femininity away for this idea of being free and independent, the black community's inability to really create a formal mission statement as to why you're here, these men are going to be, it's like gangs. Outside of leadership of men, they go to what they see as structure. And these guys are very motivated. They are. And no matter y'all, it really doesn't matter, because to defeat these guys, you're going to have to do the same thing that's required to defeat the gynocracy. You will have to eliminate the black female fuckery, because these guys' power, just like in the black manosphere, is powered not only by our motivation to live our lives the way we see fit, no matter what we say. It's also motivated in defending ourselves against the idea that what black women go through is because of what we've done to them or what we have failed to do for them. And the only way to beat that is to address the arguments. You want to beat these guys, you got to do the one thing we know you're not going to do, which is address that black bitch. And so that's the Achilles heel. They couldn't take out Achilles at all without the Achilles heel. That's the one. That's the way. That's the shatter point. Mace Windu would say it. That's the kryptonite. Nothing else is going to work. And I can confidently tell you how to beat these guys because I know you're not going to do it. Point blank, period. And what they fear, this is where the fear comes in. This is where the fear comes in. The fear comes in guys like Theo. And I'm going to tell you why. You need to understand that if you are a non-black person, when Theo came up, like when I was up there, and this is a guy that is established, that you can tell he's been, when I say been through some stuff, basically been through the ups and downs that any man, regardless of race, will have to go through in order to move up in class, get going what they get going. Shout out to Theo. Like the last time they were on there, like today, they were talking about the tech stuff, and Theo was basically dominating shit in the way that everybody has a unique way of dominating stuff, and he was saying what it was, what it wasn't. Him and Gabe had a very strong exchange, and I actually agreed more with Gabe. I understand exactly what Theo was talking about, and he's not incorrect. But the thing about it is, I'm more on Mike V and Ulysses' side on that, which is, the thing is, we got to get the culture swung into these guys looking into tech by any means necessary. And the stuff that Theo's talking about is really reserved. Theo it's kind of like, okay, we need to draft people in the army, and then Theo's more looking for officers. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool. We need a leader. We need leaders. We need ROTC programs. That's what Theo's for. Everybody can't be no officer, though. And although Theo wasn't wrong in what he was saying, and I agree with him, because that you're not gonna, gatekeeping is always gonna be there, especially with black. That's never gonna not be gatekeeping. If you're really looking at it from a black community standpoint, you want to get everybody on, and then you deal with the other stuff later. And then the people that kind of get the game early, those are the people that go through what Theo's talking about. So technically they both are right, and it was more tactical, and those are great arguments to be had. But you should have heard how he was basically, he was saying what it was. And the thing is, non-black people will look at that and say that's a dude that knows what the fuck he wants. He knows it's on. It was on Bernard Riley's thing. It's a recent stream, Little Big Nate. Um, knows what he wants, knows what it is, and is gonna do what's in his best interest. What black men see with that is they want to talk about him being bald headed as if black men are not bald headed. They want to talk about stupid shit. They want to and I'm talking about men. I'm not even talking about the women. They want to get goofy in situations where you should be serious. When there is a guy that has gotten far in life, made the mistakes, when there's a guy that can drop $5,000 on a single channel, because that's how much he said he's giving Fresh and Fit over time in just super chats. So he clearly has the disposable income. He's clearly well traveled. He's clearly doing things. He's showing his face. All the little bullshit y'all say y'all want. He's going to tell you what it is if asked, but he's not going out of his way to preach to y'all, right? Like, y'all need to understand, because that's Anton's problem. Anton's this thing when he needs to be respected. No, I didn't. I didn't hear his live stream. So, but what y'all do is y'all do what the bitches do, which is y'all want to play. Y'all want to be goofy. Y'all want to regress to childishness. We're talking about folks that are in their 30s, late 20s. Y'all want to regress to like pre-high school because it's a fucking joke. And we know most of you niggas are not making money like that. We know that's not enough to really have complete control of your life. We know this. And y'all know me. I listen to Glenn and Cameron, so y'all know I know the difference. I know the guys that are doing shit. Shout out to Sub-Zero3639 as well. And you don't got to agree with everything they say, but you need to pull out when they're giving you tactical information. You need to listen. Shout out to Gabe A as well. And motherfuckers want to play. It wants to be funny. It wants to be cute. Because that's their way. That's motherfuckers' way. I'm not even talking about the last stream. I'm more talking about when I was on there a few weeks ago. That's black men's way of kind of sideswiping the shit. And as much as motherfuckers like to talk about game and getting game, I can observe the people that I know that have it. And then I'm talking about tactical information that can help you all improve your quality of life. And how you all respond to those people because they're not put together in the nigga package y'all want. Y'all really want the package. It's just like when people get mad about the marketing. People want the marketing, not the actual product. And then you got people that want to talk shit about people that sell them the marketing. Well, that's what they really want. I'm just giving them what they want. Because if they actually wanted something better, they would legit do their research. When you buy a product, you actually research. It ain't just research. Research. Most of these motherfuckers don't even know how to research products. You look at all the products out, or not all, but at least the other. Man, please don't even get me started on that. But anyway, long story short, before I spin off too much on what I originally talked about, the only thing that a lot of guys that want to claim to be pro-black, especially online, but this goes to offline as well, is those guys at the end of the day, they believe they don't want to fix the black woman, yet they believe that the black woman is like the salvation. They was talking about Dennis Sperling was talking about a quote, and I forget who it's from, but he was saying that no community can rise higher than its women. Most black men misread that quote. What that quote mean? That quote does not mean, that quote is not some better version of Dear Mama syndrome. That quote does not mean that you accept the worst of women because you're supposed to elevate them. What that quote means is that the women fucking teach the children, and if the women are fucked up, so therefore the generations that come after. Which means you have to you have to have that ingredient correct. That one ingredient, which is a woman, can fuck up an entire society given it time, which is why, by the way, America likes to use feminism as a soft power tactic to slowly, over time, terraform societies. This is why hyper-capitalism can pretty much fuck up morality in these females, which pretty much fucks the kids up, which is why you got women being called Mercedes and all the crazy shit you see in the black community. The black community is exhibit A of what not to do. If you want to know what not to do and what not to do looks like, just look at the black community and look at what people are doing. And I don't want to fucking hear the exceptions to the rule, because this is not some, people love to play the loud minority bullshit. No, this is bigger than just a minority. Yeah, I'm not saying the quote is wrong, but if you look at Muslims, what do most Muslims understand? They understand to control that bitch. So they apply the quote very differently than ADO's black people apply it, whether they're in the nation or not. And as BGS said, there's a reason the nation doesn't grow. The nation doesn't grow because black women are not, and quite frankly, black people are not interested in their standards. The incentives do not outweigh black people. A lot of black people use the nation, and I'm not saying they disrespect it by using it as a way of getting itself. They use the nation the same way somebody uses kind of a detox facility. They get themselves cleaned up, and then they may take the lessons with it, but ultimately they're not trying to be on that type of strict shit. They're not. Which is why they like the black church, because the black church is going to be whatever you need them to be for the right price. That's what it is. I asked Chaz on Bernard Riley's thing, how much do you have to pay in tithes in order to be a born again virgin? Because I know that's a hustle that gets ran. I was joking, but I was semi-serious. And so that's the thing that I've really observed, that ultimately, whether you think these guys are accurate or not, and they're not accurate in everything they say, believe me, they are more motivated they're more motivated to fight for their freedom and assert their freedom than black men are motivated to save the community. And it shows. I mean, I had the unfortunate. I'm scrolling down on my, because one of my Edward Anderson Instagram has a lot of like the shade room and stuff, in case I want to find articles and stuff on that, because that's not my main Instagram account. And I was scrolling down, so I had the unfortunate thing to look at some of the like, I scrolled down something and it came across some of the promo pictures of Lil Nas X. And then Tariq shared a post on Twitter of like, you type in babies, what comes up under Lil Nas X, and then you got black women promoting that shit. And I mean, this shit is like starting to spin off the orbit so bad now. And then what you have is dudes that, again, and this is coming off the that dude that wanted to come on Bernard talking that shit. At the end of the day, these guys, they it's like dealing with the fourth dimension versus the second. They can only operate within the frames that they can operate. There's no pragmatism in it anymore. You're not going to save the community, and you're not. Here's the thing: the biggest threat to black women are themselves. The biggest threat to black women are other black women. So if you believe in, like, dude was wearing a protect black women shirt, I'm like, I would love to ask a nigga that wears that shirt, nigga, do you believe that black women should be protected against other black women? But I bet you a thought like that has never even gone through his head, because his idea of protecting black women is protecting them against their own feelings and emotional insecurities. Black men protect black women by basically protecting them from the truth. And that's what Dennis was talking about. And that's what and everybody trying to say the shit nice. No, you're not helping them. You're an enabler. Long term, you are fucking these women bad, because when that shoe drops and they realize they're fucked, they're going to remember all the niggas that told them everything they want to hear. Shout out to Mr. Cottrell for the $5 cash app. Jason Black has been doing videos of all these women. Kim Kardashian's turned 40, Beyonce's turned 40, Jennifer Hudson, or like, Ashanti's like north of 40. All these women, they're getting 40. All these women, and as we were growing up, they were the main people. They're all getting 40 now. They're all crossing that Rubicon. 40 is not a new beginning for women. It can be for men. It definitely isn't for women. And now you want to uplift all these women, these famous women that got all the money in the world, and they've been smart enough to keep themselves up. and they're either single or they got Kenneth Petties or they fucking younger dudes because those are the only dudes that's gonna buy they bullshit. And they want to uplift that as if that's all women. Come on, man. Let's stop it. Shout out to Ashim Jawar. Fear of failure will have you shooting for mediocrity instead of excellence. You can't win with that mentality in a highly competitive environment. You absolutely can't. And trust me, that like procrastination is a motherfucker. I know. And one little thing you don't want to do will fuck everything. Will fuck a lot of shit up. And that's what I observed. And people can argue that these guys are being belligerent, they're being this, they're being that, but they are definitely motivated. And and unfortunately, a lot of dudes that want to, save the community, as admirable as that is, you can't save the community without dealing with what's in front of you, which is black women have already quit on the community. I don't care what they say. You can talk about exceptions to the rule. I always say 20%, can be cooperated with. But outside of that, the rest of them, they're on their own shit. And like I said before, you niggas are not going to overturn white supremacy. So whether you believe in it or not. So shut the fuck up saying that's what needs to be done. And number two, what you're not going to do is you're not going to fix that bitch because you won't even address it. Because your entire most of your economics are basically centered around black female support, which is a serious problem. And you see it in everything black men talk about. When black men want to do something black, most black men do not think like O'Shea or like us, where we have to find ways of getting monetized from black men only. However black men are, we have to deal with them as they are, because that's better because just like how black people, just the very pro-blacks that will tell you, the very pro-blacks, by the way, that believe in white supremacy, and I do believe in white supremacy myself, but the very pro-blacks will tell you white supremacy is a thing, and you shouldn't get your economics from white people. The very things that don't understand that black women control you through your economics. And everything that you say has an incentive to it that's not necessarily rooted in what actually has to happen. So you actually low-key put in a coin, a penny for your thoughts, to fuck the black community every time you tell black women what you think they want to hear. And Dennis said it great. He said, now I don't believe this, but this is what he said. He said women want the truth. And the reason why women don't respect you or trust you is because you won't tell them the truth. You lie to them and they know you lying to them. And a lot of these guys, they think that by sparing, the thing about it is, ultimately, when you're raising a child, you want to spare their feelings, but they need to know what they need to know. And ultimately, when sparing their feelings runs against something that will fuck up their life, you let them know what's up. Because that's what you do as a parent. Now, I'm not a parent, but that's what we all have, had parents do that for us and stuff like that. And what you see black men do is black men look to what is right and wrong based on how much that bitch is crying and hollering or not. And the sad part about it is, if you understand that black women are misguided or completely insane, then you understand that that you sitting there and allowing them to be your North Star is not conducive to you actually going on the right course. Because ultimately, they don't know what the fuck they want. And I see way too many black men in way too many different sectors do this, whether it's the Hebrew Israelites in one iteration or the other, whether it's, NOY, whether it's the church, whether it's the pro-black market. You all see this because these are all cultural symptoms. And the thing under that is that algorithm, that operating system, which is that gynocentric operating system. And this is why a lot of people don't want to address what the fuck we say head on. Now, Conservative was trying to ask me about laws as far as, white supremacist laws. And white supremacy doesn't work that way. But ultimately, one of the reasons why I didn't answer it is because, dude, I'm not motivated in convincing you white supremacy exists. Number one, you already understand, you already agree with what we agree as to what the initial issue and a competitive, whether for it is for black men to be competitive, which, and is black women are not keeping black men from being competitive. Black men's need to want to please that bitch is what's fucking black men up. Black men don't know how to let go. That's black men's problem, and that's their choice. Ultimately, it's a choice for you to do that or not do that. So if y'all want to come up, y'all can, because I'm asking people up. Like I said, I ain't gonna be on here forever in a day. I just wanted to get that out there because I see way too many motherfuckers talking around it, and they say the same shit. They say the same shit over and over and over again. And now that you're starting to see people like Lead Attorney and others where they're starting to be more visible, it's getting a lot harder to come up with the typical bullshit that they've been coming up with. You're gay, you can't get bitches, you can't get married, you're short, you don't want to show your face. That's harder. That's much harder to make than it used to be. And it's getting harder as we get more and more of these guys that are professional or in the military or on point. You know, shout out to Grown Man Business. It gets much harder to deny the logic, and that's a great thing. And whatever people want to do with it, whether it's Obsidian wanting to have the conversation, or whether dudes want to use it to motivate other black men to live your best life. And the thing is, I don't consider SYSBM a divest movement. SYSBM is not about divesting. SYSBM is about black men doing what's in their best interest. If a black woman wants a black man, then they need to become what's in his best interest. That's all, period. Period. So when black women talk about divesting, number one, they're delusional. They're delusional. They're lying. Shout out to Crimson Cure for really going over that. I've listened to her last couple of videos, and she has been, you know, like I said, she definitely been telling the truth and shaming the devil. But we don't have that level of candor. Most black men are, let me tell you something, most black men would not let come out their mouths what Crimson Cure was saying, because they understand that because we're governed by our feelings and not governed by logic, all these women around you are going to feel some type of way, and then you're going to have to deal with how they feel, irregardless of how true it is, irregardless of how in the long run you're actually helping them out. Nikisha, you want to come up? Don't block Nikisha. Let Nikisha talk. I'm telling y'all right now. Nikisha says a lot of these black men are open homosexuals. You know what I find funny? Nikisha, this is assuming, you know, you're actually a female. Most gay black men, most openly gay black men actually are bedfellows with black women. When you look at in every area of activity, see, this is where the little girl shit comes up. And this is where the intellectual dishonesty come up. Black women, there's nobody who promotes homosexuality, that fights for homosexuality outside of we'll say white people more than black women, right? Black women are always the first to defend a homosexual from a heterosexual. Now, granted, I know plenty of black women, and there are black women that are very repulsed by homosexuality. So let me be very clear about that. But there is nobody that promotes homosexuality outside of the white race more than African American women in particular. I wouldn't even say black, African American. So when you come in here and you say a lot of black men are open, are homosexuals, the thing that finds that funny is you're only you're using homosexuality just as a tool to emasculate black men. So I ask you, do you even actually understand what homosexuality actually is? Because you use, because most black women use homosexuality, and when they're talking about gay black men or gay or homosexuality in a negative way, they're talking about it from a perspective of their perception of men not liking women, not liking black women, when in the reality is y'all are definitely very much linked up with gay black men. So usually you talking shit about women is more, that's more of a sign that you're not gay than what you claim for it to be. Because you don't really find a lot of black men going out of their way to talk about black women. You know why? Because gay black men benefit from the chaos and the lack of structure in the black community because they could not thrive in a actual structured black community. You think there was a whole bunch of gay black men when the black community was 85% married up? No, they were closeted. Pfft, bull. Yeah, that's what y'all like to say. And the other thing that kills me too is y'all are fucking gay niggas. Y'all are fucking gay dudes, which is something that most women are not doing. So when y'all talk all this bullshit, I don't even know why you're here. Why do you feel the need to come in here and say, "Oh, you all are such homosexuals"? You like, I mean, you, like, does it really trigger you that much? Let us stay in the chat. Let us stay in the chat. I mean, this is a female. It's supposedly this is a female with a pussy, and it's a Friday night. But she on here talking about motherfuckers are gay. Why aren't you getting fucked? Go ahead, Black Guru. What's up?
Hey, Edward,
I
thanks for
mean,
having
because
me.
it's real easy. Because you can say about a dude, it don't take game to get dick for females to get dick. They just gotta say the store is open. Come on in.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Do you hear me, Edward?
yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. Thanks for having me up. Uh, First of all, and I mentioned it earlier in regards
Sorry,
to the.
I don't mean to cut you off, and I know I'm starting. Nikisha says her husband is at work. So my question is,
Here
why
we,
are you
here we,
dis? Why are
here we
you
go
dis?
with the phantom
Yeah.
husband.
So
Yeah.
why are you? So my question is, why are you disrespecting your husband by listening to other men while you're at work? Like all of y'all are married.
And why are you concerned about those other men being gay?
Yeah, because
What?
if
What?
you
what
have, because you have a husband, is
yeah.
it that your husband
Yeah.
might be gay?
Yeah.
And is it
Yeah.
that, are you sure he's at work?
Yeah. He could be with another guy. Maybe she has intimate experience with men being openly gay, as she say.
Yeah, all black men are openly gay. Like only African American women are out here talking about all their men are openly gay. Like that shit kills me. Anyway, let her rock
Yeah,
in the chat.
well, it's crazy. Well, first of all, yeah, and you said it yourself. Black women love gay men. They love having sex with gay men,
Shout out to David
while
Carroll
while while pretending those
calling that
men.
out.
And see, here's the thing, Edward. I'm old enough to remember the pre-AIDS black community, on into the 70s, leading into the early 80s, just before the onset of AIDS. So I knew lots of women who were having regular sex with bisexual men. And it wasn't a big thing if the guy looked a certain way, if he was pretty enough, if back then, if he was light skinned, did enough. Uh, they were going to do that guy, regardless of his reputation of going down on or
Yeah,
being gone down
David
on
Carroll talked
by
about that. Go ahead.
by other men. So yeah, whenever they ruefully refer to black men as being gay, to me that's when they say, for example, they've alluded to Kevin Samuels being gay. To me, that's them saying that they want to do Kevin Samuels.
Yep,
That's how I interpret
and
it.
David Carroll said the same thing. He said because he was talking about with the pastors. He said black women give so much pussy to the pastors they no longer want pussy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and which creates the culture of ambivalent behavior in that environment. Yeah, ironically, where you kind of see it also manifesting in the entertainment business, where so much ass is thrown at these men that they start making exotic choices in some of their sexual
That's a good.
behavior.
That's definitely, boy. Somebody needs to take that and be like, yeah, well, you want to say this shit, or like you saying
Yeah.
it on mainstream. That's a good
Hmm.
mainstream way of saying it.
Yeah, make exotic choices. So, but I really wanted to applaud what the lead attorney was doing on the LaPrice show, and I wasn't surprised by it,
He picks his
but
moments, don't he?
yeah, I mean, and there was a level at times, there was a level of fury that he had, that it wasn't even just him being very sort of red pill, but you could tell he was angry, and I think it took the women and even like I say, Anton, I think it
So
took
so
them off
what so
guard.
what are you talking? Because I saw the domestic video. What? Because I don't watch
I
every video
saw
they
I
put out.
saw that.
So what video you referring to?
There have been a series of recent snippets of I guess his most recent appearance on the show. But yeah, obviously the DV thing, he really was livid at, and and the women were trying to steer it back into a direction where they could use shaming tactics, for example, to kind of try to quell his fury. But he wasn't having it. He wasn't having it at all. And I mean, if he's listening or if he hears this, I really applaud not only how forthright and how direct and earnest he was in his response, but there is a lot of anger amongst black men on the issue of domestic violence, the gross hypocrisy, the gross unfairness in the way that's being administrated and litigated. And I appreciated him exhibiting some of what many of us, probably
Yeah.
most of us to some degree, feel about that particular issue.
Honestly, shit like that, like he should clip that shit because that shit will definitely help his channel grow amongst men. And the thing about it is, it's the combination of stuff. It's not just I'm uncontrollably angry. He was, and he said it in the thing. And even Chicago Rilla had the, really acquiesce to a lot of stuff too. He said like they're listening to the words you're using. It's
Mm-hmm.
code for the manipulation. And K, K kills me because K, as a light skinned guy, me and Xanatos can do a play by play on K's bullshit. Because the truth is,
I
K,
think I think Kay's a sociopath. I don't think because she
no,
doesn't really.
she's just light
Well,
skinned.
but she
That's all
doesn't.
it is.
She's unique in a certain sense in that she does not appear to become emotionally moved by much, and that's unusual for a black woman,
Well,
especially
that's
when she's repeatedly being disagreed with and repeatedly being insulted.
no, that makes
You
her
know,
dangerous because she's no
right,
K.
right.
K
She's
is
very
dis.
dangerous.
No, K is disciplined. No, if you find she's got buttons, if you found her buttons, you found her buttons. Trust me, she will be moved. But on topics like this, see, and this is why I say she's light skinned because she understands. A lot of light skinned women understand the power of leverage, and that black girl attitude shit, that shit doesn't really cut the mustard when it comes to getting what you want. You'll get your a lot more of what you want a lot easier by maintaining a certain frame. And the thing about it is in the black community, because black women are wilding all the fuck out, you can still exhibit little bits of masculine energy as far as being combative, but passive aggressively combative. But
Mhm.
dealing with K is a lot like dealing with a white female in a corporate office. They're never gonna come at you with the snap fingers and shit. But them being disagreeable is them being defiant, even if the tonality doesn't match it. And black men are not really used to that because black men are used to catching a flamethrower.
Right.
So she understands that, and she understands that this is why they subscribe to camming up all the time. Because if you can see what she looks like, a lot of dudes are gonna eventually acquiesce just by, oh, this is a light skinned chick with natural hair. They're gonna do that. And see, people like me, yeah, I mean, you're old enough where you see that, you understand that, you got daughters, so you see that, so you can see a difference. But most dudes can't see that. People like me and Xanatos and a lot of and one master teacher, we see that dynamic, and that dynamic doesn't move us in particular because we ain't special, and that dynamic doesn't move
Which is
dudes
why a
either.
lot of light skinned women don't like light skinned men. By the way, that's why a
Well,
lot of light skinned women prefer darker skinned men because they can work that little light skinned voodoo magic
yeah,
on them.
yeah, absolutely. And yep, you're right. In the short term, and the dark skinned men are more of a buy-in to,
Yeah.
and they're in their mind to the culture, that a lot of what's wrong with the culture, not obviously because of skin tone, but because of what the super nigga, as Glendon Cameron would say, represents in the mind of these women. And so that's what K does. Courtney does similar things, but obviously Courtney doesn't have. When Courtney gets mad, she gets really, really mad, and so
Mm-hmm.
so Kay is a little bit more disciplined on that, and really that show, yeah, they disagree, but they don't like it's rare where they're direct. That's why when the lead attorney did what he did, like in the way that he did it, in the combination that he did it. In fact, you know what? Fuck it, because one thing I got to give Anton credit for. Anton has been a good sport about people playing their videos. You know,
Mm.
I'll give them that. I definitely will, and I don't like hate Anton or anything. I don't have an issue with Anton. It's just, bullshit's gonna be called out. That's just what it is. No matter who says it. I mean, you see me calling Jason Black out, and y'all know I was let's see. So let's yeah, and one thing I will say that Anton pointed out when it comes to Amira, people can like or not like Amira, but if you look at how lead attorney checked her and how lead attorney checked them, it was very different. Amira did
Hmm.
fall back and chill, like Anton
Yeah,
was saying, but that's
yeah,
because, but again, a lot of these women don't really understand that because they don't. I don't give a fuck about why you don't respect black men. The reality is it's not on black men to earn your respect. It's on black men to build themselves up and then deal with women that will respect them. What black women want is black men to be on this never-ending hamster wheel in which we're trying to chase their respect.
yep.
We're telling black men, y'all shouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but I think in addition to, obviously a lot of very important reasons, I think our health is compromised by all of it. I don't think we give enough notice to the health consequences of having this ongoing drama going on within your
Yeah, the
mind and your spirit.
hypertension. Yeah,
Right, right. And because men are generally problem solvers, because we, by our nature, by our evolution, I believe, we're designed to fix things, to cure things, to break things, and then rebuild things. When you're constantly in this state where you're supposed to have to fix something that you can never really fix, that is not fixable, I think over time, internally, it takes its toll. And so while you're constantly like the whole business of guys coming home and
yeah.
crying in their cars and shit like that, I mean that stuff is very corrosive to your spirit, and you don't really know what it means, but then 5 years later, 10 years later, the doctors found a cancer somewhere and you're wondering where it's coming from. Well, it's coming from probably other sources in addition to those other
But
sources.
that's in the cocktail. It doesn't get talked about. Nobody talks
Exactly.
about it.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think, like you say, you were contrasting the response of Amira to the other women. Look, you shouldn't have to be arguing about anything that long. Not with a woman.
Yeah, and the thing that they don't understand about why he was getting mad is they're always trying to sneak the shit.
Hmm. Hmm. Which Rilla pointed out to what Kay did. Kay tried to alter the conversation in a way that would be self self accusatory towards the lead attorney. The problem that works with other people. This guy's a professional in
Yeah,
arguing
and
and
and,
debating.
and
You,
here's
you
where
don't you can't pull that kind of shit with him.
here's where Kay would have won. If that would have been somebody like me, I would have been like, bitch, and then all
Right.
of a sudden it would have been
Yeah, and
because
then it
I
was
know it's
spiraled out of
now
control.
it would have been about me. Yeah. So the lead
Yeah.
attorney gets and see this is where everybody look, I gotta tap my hat to certain people. Even with Kevin, and now you're seeing that there's other motherfuckers can do it too. And by the way,
Mhm.
Dennis can do it because when
Yep.
Dennis
Yep.
start moving around, like that's him trying to not jump, cuss your ass out.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, yeah. And
because
then
he.
he created the lovely ladies, and I mean, you can't mess with these attorneys how you can mess with the rest of
Yeah, and you can
them.
see them. They six
Yeah.
foot, so you can't
Oh
throw
yeah, big
like
guys, big
yup.
brawny guys.
So
You
so
can't
yeah,
fool with
and I
them guys.
and I say that because that's the typical bullshit these women like to pull. Like you got a Napoleon complex, you got this, you got that. Like even like once lead attorney said he was 6'3", I'm like, okay, well this makes what Tasha K even more full of shit. Because
Hmm.
niggas don't be having late growth spurts like that. That
I,
ain't
I
really how
I
it works
told
with
you
black men.
what Tasha, that whole Tasha K thing was about one thing and one thing only. Only, he's the kind of guy who wouldn't be caught dead with her in his bed. That's what that was all about.
It was
All
funny.
everything else was just bullshit.
Yeah, because Glennon Cameron said he didn't know who Tasha. He was talking about YouTube. He said he didn't know who Tasha K was. Another big dude successful saying he don't know who Tasha K was until she started attacking the lead attorney. You got to remember all these motherfuckers in Atlanta, yo. Well,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Dennis
sort
is
of a,
in Houston with LAR. So yeah, a lot of these dudes are closer to each other than people think. And like I said before in the early thing, folks like they fear black men networking like that because a lot of these guys don't have an answer for that because you want dudes to stay in a community and do this chattel slavery bullshit. And if you start seeing what dudes look like, whether it's Theo, whether it's the lead attorney, whether it's even a guy like Kwame Brown, which who keeps it real, and he definitely reflects a certain background a lot of black men deal with, as he was constantly ridiculed, all that. He's had to deal with baby mama drama. It ain't like he done had kids like off the chains like some people, and then these women are so stupid, I ain't even started with Tyson Chandler story. But let's play this real quick. I decided to get through the initial thing just so y'all can see what we're talking about. Now they got a lot of clips on a lot of different shit. They do a good job at like cutting their clips up, and I think they set the show up that way, and that serves them well as far as growth. But yeah, let's go. Let's see.
Propagated or pushed as it relates to boys versus girls. Like, oh, that's a girl, don't do this or don't do that. But in terms, oh my goodness, my voice. But in terms of men,
thank you, Jesus.
In terms of grown men, I don't have enough information to say that because some men maybe don't.
One thing I gotta point out, and I'm not trying to talk about nobody, and tell nobody, well, you look better, this is, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When Lauren had her hair out on the lead attorney, and she didn't have that, it served her a lot. It served her very well, and that's a
well,
perfect.
I mean, I must admit, I probably watched these clips twice. Once just to kind of hear what they're saying, and then the second time to just watch Lauren's facial expressions as they're talking. It's quite entertaining. I find it to be quite entertaining.
Yeah. So, and they all have a role. Shout out to the lead attorney who's in the chat, So, Black Guru, because Black Guru will tell the truth on the motherfucker. He was definitely impressed with what you showed. Yeah, so we about to do a play by play on this lead attorney boy. He be creeping.
Props to you, Lee. Props to you, man.
Lead attorney is about to be the new Kevin Samuels when it comes to creeping in people's chat, see what motherfuckers are saying. But,
yeah. Lee coming to that joint like Thor came into Wakanda.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did.
Know how to even treat a woman. Some don't know how to protect themselves. Some do know how to.
Let's keep it real. The way Courtney looks, most like 85% of black men, they just gonna go with whatever the fuck she say. Even if they know they not fucking, in their mind, it's a 0.001% chance. So they not gonna challenge shit. And this is what they bring in these fucking arguments.
She's pretty good, manosphere masturbatory material. She's all right.
Protect themselves.
And then, well, apparently she talked to Obsidian. I need to go through that, but that'll be another day.
And avoid certain situations. Like there's some men who will not go to that hotel room with that woman and he's this famous man. There's some who won't do that. There's some that will. I mean, there's so much variation, so I don't have enough information to answer that properly.
Can you pause for just a moment?
I was about to get off the trigger finger, but yeah.
Kay gives the exact same answer every time, in case no one knows.
I don't have enough
it's always, there's all these options and there's all these permutations and there's the metaphysics of things and, well, we just can't know. I mean, she pretty much says that every time about everything. Does anybody else notice that? I don't know.
I noticed that. And you know what somebody should have? Somebody should have a fucking soundbite for when she does that shit. Like they should create a soundbite. I don't know what it is. Maybe I think of it. It'd be like, yeah, every time she do that shit. Like that should be a drinking game. Because the truth is, Kay be having opinions. She be saying that she don't know, but that means she ain't got no angle. Like that she ain't come up because watch when she say she don't know. Okay, so I want y'all to really
she says she don't know when she does not think she has leverage.
Yeah. Hold on, let me because I want people to actually hear what was actually asked. Because
I do think that as children, there are certain things that are propagated or pushed as it relates to boys versus girls. Like, oh, that's a girl, don't do this or don't do that. But in terms, oh my goodness, my voice. But in terms of men,
thank you, Jesus.
In terms of grown men, I don't have enough information to say that because some men maybe don't. know how to even treat a woman. Some don't know how to protect themselves.
So where these some men don't know how to treat a woman, like that's okay. We're gonna break that down. So you talk about, well, some men, see, when women use this subjective language, when black people use this subjective language, it's like that shit can mean anything. Some it doesn't number. First of all, we know that if you do something out of what you're supposed to do with a female, especially if you're a black man, that gives basically carte blanche. Fucking with women and fucking with dogs is like the fastest way to get fucked up in this country. You know, like in the wrong way. Everything is going to collapse on you. Conservatives just want an excuse to hang a nigga. So this idea that dudes don't know what to do and not do, come on now. So it's like, so the thing that kills me about Kay is Kay likes to pretend like she don't know life shit. Like she's been in the house all day and don't know shit. Now watch what they add. Now watch some of the stuff that they ask about. Well, watch, you'll see. So when she adds this is intellectual dishonesty. And this is the type of shit. And to be fair, she did go on Palmer, and Palmer's cool. Palmer ain't gonna really drill. He'll ask the questions, but he ain't gonna really drill your ass. Like Obsidian would at least ask the questions that you don't don't want to be asked. So we'll see what that interview is with Courtney. But anyway, let's go.
Some do know how to protect themselves and avoid.
Some do, some don't.
Right.
Certain situations. Like there's some men who will not go to that hotel room with that woman and he's this famous man. There's some who won't do that. There's some that will. I mean,
which is another reason why I don't like to cam up, because the looks that I have on my face, it's just another like layer of things I got to keep in mind. And I have business stuff where the shit is more lighter, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
so much variation, so I don't have enough information to answer that properly.
Okay. Lauren,
even fucking Anton knows that's bullshit, but he's like,
whatever. He'll spend the whole 10 minutes giving like no answer at all.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, Chicago! Why are you doing this to us? Go
no, I mean seriously. Do you think the
as a specialist coffee roaster?
Fuck you, niggas! I paid $30 on different YouTube things on my other channels. Niggas always think they want to say something about, oh, this commercial. Shut up.
Taught how to
just say it.
Treat women?
Yes.
Okay, they were.
So her brothers were taught how to treat women.
Were they taught how to protect themselves from women?
Yes.
In what way?
He gave me that counter quick.
And she looked up and looked over, which means she's looking for a credible answer. She don't know what
y'all know. Y'all know
she's
that
lying.
She's
lying.
Anybody?
Go back just a few ticks and watch the change in her response to Chicago Rilla's question.
I will say like Mortal Kombat 11. Y'all know what them crushing blows are. That's. I say, oh man, I need to have a clip with that. It's good. Anyway, let's go. But yeah, I mean, she looking left now. Oh, this actually would be a really good still.
But go back, because watch the change in her expression. It's the change that where you see the lie formulating.
Okay, they were they?
I don't want to be seen as breaking it down too much, because then
how to protect themselves from women.
Yes.
In what way?
There you go.
Just not
there you go. That's the lie.
Situations, especially as black men, knowing.
So she said not getting in situations. Now, one thing. So I get with that, but one thing is men should not be. When you look at like other countries outside of the Western world, as long as a man, if you're conducting yourself with honor, with respect, you're conducting yourself like a decent human being. And, men shouldn't have to be in under this. This is important, because this comes back to what you were talking about the stress and hypertension. Men have to be on constant guard for bullshit. Like, I'll give you an example. There was a situation with Tariq Nasheed where when he first did the ism, he had the bald-headed bitch he had the swirler chick and then the bald-headed bitch, and the bitch he fired. And basically what Tariq was saying is she would always try to be alone with him. Now, first of all, he's not sexually attracted to her. Second of all, he's married and he's done his stuff in the game. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually, I'm married, settled down. I like who I got kill him good. But the point is, she will always try to be alone with him. And she did. And so dudes shouldn't have to be on guard like that. Dudes shouldn't have to be on guard like that. So if a woman wants to get mad and say something, there should be barriers to them being able to do that. And right now, because this shit has gotten real political, there's not. There, so anyway, that's what she does. And the fact is, Kay doesn't see anything wrong with that. I wish you would ask that. Do you see something wrong where your brothers have to kind of be on guard for lying bitches? I'm not saying dudes can just be out here doing whatever, but we're not talking like there's a certain amount of protection that men are supposed to have as being citizens of this society, as being potentially drafted into this society, and women just don't understand that. I would ask women, do you believe that there's any reason why men should need to be protected in this country? Because the way they always talk is it's one way. But let's go.
Certain things that could happen, things like that. Do you think it's okay if you as a man were not hurt? And I would.
Okay, this is where we get into the bullshit. So y'all buckle the fuck up.
Never do it. So I'm not trying to advocate for people hitting, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if a woman that was small hit you, do you think you should hit her back even though you weren't hurt?
I absolutely think I should have the right to hit that lady back. No,
even if you weren't hurt?
Absolutely.
Go on, Lee.
This is a few good men moment right here. Let's let it play out. Hold on, let's let it play out, and then we can always replay it.
Every woman gets to run around and hit every 6-foot man. Like, what world are you living in? Just because you can't hurt. Wait. Just because a woman.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut it off. Did Amira do a little silent clap?
Yeah, I think she did some kind of gesture.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm not gonna keep doing this, but that's something I first saw that.
He said some 5'3" woman gets to run around and hit every 6-foot man. Like, what world are you living in?
Yes, she did.
Keep trolling them.
I see why they don't like her. Yeah, she really. And hold on. I want you. And this. Why is that significant? Why? And you know what? I'm not gonna be an asshole about it. Let me definitely put the link in there. We're gonna talk about it. It's worth subscribing to. So shit. I mean, shit. We talk about this shit. We not gonna.
Yeah, they got good stuff. They got good stuff.
Agree or disagree. So I put link in there. Definitely give them support. So we're not gonna front, because if they not gonna strike me for showing it, remember. He checked her for what he perceived to be like racially motivated stuff, like the shit Kay was bitching about. So I want you to understand, this is after that. Like, these are a couple of like streams later, because that was like a couple of weeks ago. So what that tells you, she don't take this shit too seriously. Which you check a black woman too hard, and then that's some fucking Shia and Sunni blood war shit. So I just want to point that out.
And maybe, unlike black women are apt to do, she actually submitted to his wisdom on that subject. That is not something that is supposed to be this perpetual war because he just happens to be a black man. Maybe Amira, to some degree, I don't know. I don't know anything about her.
At least
but maybe to some degree, maybe she actually conceded to his wisdom in that regard and was willing to accept that and move on from it. Maybe
that remains to be seen, but even still, like, I get, and that's a possibility, but I might not go that far. But my point is, at least she don't take what we know and see in front of us, because you generally wouldn't have that. You would see that passive aggression and all of that. So I just wanted to point that out, and I'm not gonna be like micromanaging everything, but I just wanted to point that out one more time.
It cannot be the case that some 5'3" woman gets to run around and hit every 6-foot man. Like, what world are you living in? Just because you can't hurt. Wait. Just because a woman is 5'3" and can't hurt a man over 6 foot means that she just gets to walk around and hit every single man willy-nilly?
No.
Well, there you go.
So okay. So are you saying that it's men's duty to
Jesus
cheat
Christ.
on a
This is a witch. This is a
Yo, this is like playing Mortal Kombat, yo. When motherfuckers try to come with the bullshit, like, oh, you try to show me
yeah,
something new, but
yeah.
I've already seen that shit
I,
before.
I mean, that is some witchery. That's some witchcraft she tried to pull right there.
And I'm gonna tell you something that would have worked on most of you
Mm-hmm.
niggas. See, first of
Mm-hmm.
all these guys up there,
And they
they
would have
know.
gotten defensive, and they would have retracted, and they would have started equivocating and halfway apologizing.
And they know, and these guys know Kay, so they've worked with her. They know how she gets down. They've already said she can be disingenuous. And I'm not trying to beat up on Kay. This is what this conversation's about because Courtney comes in here too. But when I say it would have worked in a way, like who we were saying, but all them niggas would have started piling on, like, yeah, you know. And even look at Lauren. Even Lauren is like, usually, because you can tell, usually, oh damn, I don't see these niggas countering this shit. Like, they usually not that quick. Like these motherfuckers on point today.
Like I say, like I told you before, I like looking at Lauren. You know, I watch it a second time just to kind of look at Lauren. It's like a picture show.
Yeah, because y'all don't understand. It takes work to like have a stone, like y'all, like I'm not gonna say work, but
yeah, an effort to keep
because
a
I know
straight face.
what the fuck I'll do, and then as far as facial expressions when y'all say some shit, and there's a reason I don't cam up all the time because when y'all be saying some stupid shit, it catches me off guard by how dumb it was. You gonna see it on my face, even if I try to be nice.
Edward, you can't even hide it in your voice, though, bro. Be honest.
Well, yeah, yeah. So it's like, so you already know. It's like
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go. That's. I'm sorry, I am micromanaging it, but let's see the dude on the lower left because he the new nigga. Listen,
Nilly?
No.
Well, there you go.
So okay. So are you saying that it's men's duty?
see, Chicago Rilla, he probably naturally got like a stone face, so he good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, Lee was working his hands, so you know he was really working at that point. When he started using them gesticulations, you know, he wasn't fucking around at that point.
Remember what Kay said before, what she was talking about? Yeah, I like acquiescing, to the lead attorney because he's a professional. He's an expert.
Right.
So remember, this is where all.
We see how long that shit lasts.
And if I would have been an asshole, I would have these clips like instant replay. See, I would do that dumb shit because I remember what you motherfuckers be saying. So shit. Let's go.
There you go.
So okay. So are you saying that it's men's duty to
Jesus Christ? Who said the word duty? Are you? Come on, Kay. Listen, Kay.
I'm
starting to see what people are talking about.
I'm
I hope y'all enjoying this. Put this here. Shout out to Blackfoot. Say your email address again. My email is edwardanderson300k@gmail.com. That's how you know I'm lazy. I always say 300k and 400k.
It's not in your description or whatever?
No, I'm lazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm lazy sometimes. Like, it's in my about.
Okay.
My email was in my about. You click the email. But y'all don't seem to want to go to that. Shout out to BGS.
It's great. I would love to see BGS.
If BGS ever did BGS for women, KK would be a
chick. If he did BGS for women now, that joint would be lit.
Yeah, you got lead attorney would come through.
Yeah. That joint would be lit.
Shoot, even get Jason pocket watching, come through. So let's see.
I said the word duty, but you're putting words in my mouth.
I'm asking you. Do you?
Well, if you ask me then, but don't put words in my mouth when you ask me.
I said, do you think that it's a man's duty to put?
Ignore what I said. I'm light skinned.
Like a smaller woman in her place, if she tries to hit him.
No, it's her duty to keep her hands to herself.
Hold on, wait, because I don't want Kay to misunderstand what the lead was saying. Kay, the way you started with the question, you said, "Are you saying that it's a man's duty?"
Right.
Exactly, Rilla.
So that's a different question. That's why
right and duty are two different things. It is your right. Yeah. It is your right to bear arms. It's not your duty to bear arms. Now, some people will go as far as to say that, but they will acquiesce that they care about the fucking right. Now, whether you want to pick the shit up or not, that's up to you. But they know what they're gonna. So right and duty, and so for her, and she knows that Kay is not dumb. That's what. And let's go. And then like Courtney's waiting for her shot, but let's go.
he was saying, don't put words in my mouth.
Thank you, Rilla.
That's a different way of asking. So you're saying
like Rilla and I are
no
actually
or not?
listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth, even if you're not listening to them. Like I get very offended when people put words in my mouth because I choose my words. I choose my words precisely.
I feel you. I wasn't trying to put words in your mouth. I was saying
you were exactly trying to put words in his mouth.
Okay. It's what
She was running plays, yo. Yo, where's that? Hold on. Where's that? Oh man, like, cause I watch a lot of movies, especially back in the day. Not as much as I used to, but I've been in movies like Face Off, like when John Travolta's like Interception. Now we have the ball. Like, man, y'all don't want me to start putting clips in this bitch. Y'all don't want me to do that.
And should have the duty to make sure that he is protected at all times, and should allow no one to just walk around willy-nilly hitting him, whether or not he feels subjectively or objectively that person can or cannot hurt him.
Hey, Lead, I have a question. I have a question. So let's just.
And she always acting like this is new information.
Yeah. Those facial expressions, like, this is very informative.
You dumb. Like, and then it's like, oh, why you say? Because, nigga, I need to establish if she's.
Edward, I'm telling you, I think this chick is so. I think she's sociopathic. That's just not normal behavior.
I know plenty of light skin. And here's the thing: it's never like so annoying. There's like, get the fuck out of my face. I can't stand you, because they never go to like that, because they know their limit. They know their levels. So it's not one of those things. But this is some. Boy, she running some classic instigating plays right now. This is some instigating shit. Like, and I'm glad they letting it rock. The lead attorney. Could you imagine if the six goddess would be
look at Lauren? She's up there just looking pretty.
I mean, they and I'll give it to them for them letting this shit run. I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I'm just saying it's like she always played like, it's like, I know my pet peeve is disingenuousness. So I'm like, if we're gonna have this conversation, put all the cards on the table. Even if I'd rather somebody tell me racism don't exist and it's a figment of my imagination and stand on that shit than fucking play this bullshit game. This is why if you see people have a completely different opinion of what I have, and it's like, okay, at least they're being direct, so we know where we stand. So it's like, this is where we agree, this is where we don't agree. Whether the shit is something that's like so essential that the other shit can't work, with that not being on point, depends. But at least I know where you are, so we're not wasting each other's time. I appreciate that. And that's why, because people always think I always got to be right. That's not true. The thing about, like, even with BGS and the Russell Wilson thing, he said what he said. He has his reasons. I don't buy into that, but time will tell. And so it ain't we just Dan playing the fucking.
You come with the dreaded Sierra thing, really. You guys are still.
And so so let's go. But yeah, they look like they enjoying this. Do you think Kay is like, people keep arguing if Kay? Look, man, understand something. When you look at skin tone, to a lot of black people, with somebody like Kay, it depends who you are. Like, a lot of folks that are darker in tone are gonna say she's like, Kay would be in the light skin category technically, and I hate to say this, I hate to be the asshole, but I go on the paper bag reference. Like, I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying that if you put it like, she's right there. So I mean, shit, because people have completely different definitions of it depending on where you are, and it's like, that's not like, and I'm saying this as a light-skinned person, and I don't give a fuck. But y'all know she's lighter than most black people, so let's just go with that. Like, let's stop. She the lightest motherfucker on this bitch, so let's stop. Other than this black, so let's stop. I get what you're saying, but let's not argue about whether she really light skin. But yes, I can tell you, Black Guru, answer me this: do you think she's more treated like that by most black men?
Treated as if she's light skinned.
Yeah, like they give her that deference. Would you?
I don't.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah,
that's fine. It's because that's ridiculous.
I'm more inclined to think that Courtney gets that.
Well, what I'm saying is, a lot of this, you have situations where these women, they don't have to go hard. Whatever. I'll come back to that in another time. But we move forward.
Take the dynamics of you.
Okay, so now it's Courtney's turn.
Okay, and Kay's 5'3", you're 6'3", a whole foot, and she.
First of all, height doesn't matter. I'm 5'5", and make no mistake. Like, I'm not saying that I may have the same kinetic power of the lead attorney, but I'm a man. So if I hit your ass, you're not gonna really see it's still gonna, and see the fact that we're looking at height, like you can be 5'8". I know a dude that's 5'5", 225. He was my at the time he was my personal trainer, light skin, and he
So,
was
but they're using his height
and
to
he was all
ratchet up.
muscle.
But they're using his height to ratchet up the alleged severity of him
Yeah,
striking
so it's
back.
not, and the
So,
point
so it's a
is,
way to they're trying to use his height as a guilt mechanism.
and it's also the thing where you don't understand manhood, because when you look at like a dude that's 5'5", a dude that's 5'5", just like 100, let's say 170, and he's moderately in shape, like you're not gonna feel the fucking difference,
No, no.
it's gonna lay your ass out just the
Yeah.
same. And y'all act like height matters. Like if a bitch is 6'5" and she hits you, you still seeing her as a female. So the fact that they're even using height as like a measuring stick like that is incorrect. And it goes to show you they don't understand manhood. Because it ain't no, oh, well, Kay is more closer to my height. So if I decide I want to do some shit, it's going to be easier for her to deal with me versus lead attorney. Actually, it might not be. Depending on, this is how women see it, and this is a big
Well, and
how
also,
black women
Edward,
see it.
there's a phenomenon, and you can kind of take it back to like to kind of really accentuate the point. Let's say with like Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal, where there's this phenomenon of guilting large sized men because of their presumed outsized greater power, and potential, the potential effect of their fury. So there's this thing of attempting to guilt men, black men in particular, especially black men, maybe even uniquely black men, to make them feel guilty about their greater power, their greater physical capability. And that's why they keep pounding on him being so much taller than her, to trigger this guilt complex
And the
associated
truth
with
is,
men
yep.
being bigger.
And black women
Yeah,
are not scared of these dudes because they're tall. We've had plenty of dudes younger talk about they
yeah.
get 2x4, they get hit with they sleep. And so it doesn't matter. It ain't like a lot of these women. Like, yeah, it's some difference. I won't act like it, but it's not enough of a difference where these guys don't get. The fact of the matter is, we're talking about if she hits him. If a woman hits you, she does not fear you. And when I say fear, like men understand that we can say shit. It don't matter if you both 6 feet. You can say shit that will trigger a fight. Now, most men across the board, at least in America, yeah, for the most part, I have an understanding that a female can say pretty much what she wants to come out of her mouth within in the black community, black women can say what the fuck they want without fear of getting their ass knocked the fuck out. For the most part, it's the only time they really are under threat of getting knocked the fuck out is when, if ever, is when they put their hands on somebody. So that's not what it is with men. With men, you say the wrong thing. You see how some of these niggas talk about catching a flight and shit like that. So, and I'm not even talking, I'm talking about Bernard Riley shit. Nigga from New Jersey talk about y'all gotta see. Oh, I'm going to get that clip too. That shit was funny. In fact, hold on. Let me see if that shit's still on. We're gonna take a sidewinder before we. Let me see. Bernard, right? Because I gotta play that. Because that shit was funny as hell. This nigga was talking all this bullshit about me in the back chat. That nigga called me gay like 30 different times in the back chat. Like, nigga, you gay. I'm like, nigga, why are you so invested in me being like you literally? I should have screen shot it because that shit was funny as fuck. But this wasn't about me. This is what Hood Conservative did. Them niggas know how to trigger folks. Let me see. This was funny. Hold on.
What do you mean by the term "let them live"?
Hold on. Oh yeah, and this nigga was talking stupid. This was talking about that twerking bullshit. We gonna get back to that. Let's do this diverge.
Y'all know what "let them live."
No, but
y'all know what "let them live."
But it's his. But it's his establishment.
All right, Pablo, we got
not Nas's.
We got you. Y'all know what "let them live" mean, right? Y'all understand what the term?
No.
Explain
it.
Explain
No. Explain that shit, bro.
Watch this.
No, explain that shit. Don't get away with that because you're gonna start speaking in fucking poetry and shit. No. Don't talk in poetry and act like you're being smart.
Let's do this. Let's have some respect for each other, man. Like, don't come and
Stop
talk
cutting
crazy.
people.
He's not having you talking about these bitches are twerking on the table in a black man's establishment. Fuck the man. Like I don't want to look at that. And you talk about let them live, nigga. You the reason why these bitches feel comfortable doing that. So yes, that's a problem. You're a problem. Go ahead.
Don't talk about respect when you open your mouth every time other people talk, bro.
Nobody cut nobody off.
You have zero impulse control, and you're defending bitches with zero impulse control. Control yourself, dude.
My nigga, everybody cool. Everybody cool. Everybody cool. Everybody.
Here you go. All bullshit start with check this out. Check this out.
Know what's wrong with y'all, man? Like y'all think
now it's about us. Now he about to get the whole sphere told.
Y'all just gonna fly in and talk crazy to niggas like niggas talking crazy to y'all. I did not talk crazy to you, my brother.
Actually, when you said let bitches twerking on a table, let them live, that's talking crazy to me.
I did
what
not,
did I say crazy to you?
I did not cut you off. I did not come in talking crazy. Like, won't y'all?
You started talking when I was talking.
You only talking to one person. Why is one person y'all? Like that's you're talking from your emotions when you're doing that.
I didn't. No, I did not. No, I did not.
When did you start talking?
He was talking. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you niggas just think all this shit.
Yeah, all right, that's enough. That's enough. We're not about to debate who cut off who first. All right, we can chill. We can chill with that.
I'm trying
we
to
can
make
chill with that. Hold on, dude. Hold on. I muted you. Don't quit. Hood server stayed muted when I muted him. You unmuted yourself.
Bernard be the judge.
Like,
don't Bernard look like he could be a judge on one of them shows?
Yeah, he does.
See, I ain't trying to give you time, but I gotta throw the book at you.
Like stay muted when I mute you. All right, we about to try to I do want to get Hood Servatives take.
Come on, y'all. Let's get Bernard at 8,000. Yo, he's 30 away.
But you had asked a question. We said we do know what "let them live" mean, right? I said, yeah. Hood Servative pointed out probably rightfully that nope, don't let him vaguely define it. So go ahead and define it. Exactly what you mean by the term "let them live"?
Let them live, man. Yeah, they wrong, but just let them live, man. Let them live. Like they wrong. They wrong as fuck. We all know they wrong as fuck.
And now you wrong.
They just
I get it. I mean, nigga, do you understand what the fuck is coming out your mouth? They wrong, but you not gonna do nothing. See, but notice how he said, you niggas. So he's already separated himself from us. Like, think about it. This is his words. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying, man. You just a bitch ass nigga. Like, you just a fucked up ass nigga. I can't do it. I didn't come to argue with this nigga. I came to have a conversation with y'all.
Take your whole ass home, nigga. Go sit with the bitches, nigga.
Listen.
Go hang with bitches, my nigga. Go sit with hoes.
I live in Trenton, New Jersey. If you got a problem
yeah, I knew them East Coast guys, man. Them East Coast guys. I knew he was from around that way.
Hold on.
Because he belongs with the women, bro. That's really the problem.
You
belongs
niggas
with
is
the women.
wrong.
Oh, he's camming up.
Impulse control.
Let's get it.
Impulse control.
Let's get it.
Impulse control. That's the name of the game. Impulse control. Do you understand the concept?
Homosexual.
All right. Hood Server, what point did you want to make?
Oh, these niggas kill me, man. These niggas kill me.
Man.
Where is Stream Team memes when you need them?
We ain't gonna make it, man. We we ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. It's a whole lot of
that's that northeastern bullshit. Check this. You a homosexual. I'm like, nigga, shut up. Like, especially after Lil Nas X is out here doing all this bullshit, and you motherfuckers are quiet as church mice. Y'all shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know, because y'all, when it comes down to it, y'all need to be calling this shit out. Motherfuckers want to talk about what that nigga do. It's up to him. Okay, so y'all kiss my ass with that. Anyway, all right, let's finish this. That was a good little commercial. That would be a good soundbite if you wanted to do like a 60-second soundbite, like on Instagram or some shit. Like the man, like he has a phone. Like think about it.
Dude wanted him to see who he was.
Yeah, think about. I'm sitting there walking down the street. I'm looking like, why this nigga? That's something feminist
right
on his phone, like. Like, who the fuck? Like, who hurt you?
Get the flight, nigga.
And then you talk about let them live. Like, nigga, that bitch represents you. Like, we're talking about that's weakness right there. Right, that shit is weakness right there. Let them live. Anyway, let's go.
To you. What?
Let me rewind it a little
take the
bit.
dynamics of you and Kay, and Kay's 5'3", you're 6'3", a whole foot, and she hits you.
A whole foot.
What? And you're like, well, you hit me, I should be able to hit you back. What?
First of all, black men, let's be clear here. Black men ain't talk like when black men are talking about hit, like if you actually listen to what that means, like Smargo and them talk about 2x4s. Like, I would have asked her to give an actual scenario. Let's not talk about you hit me on my shoulder because I said something. Like, stop. Like, we ain't talking about that. We talking about you hit somebody in their fucking face. Let's call it what it is. She slaps the shit out of lead attorney. Let's start there. Let's be specific. Fuck that. She hits you bullshit.
What about an alternative? And I'm just asking of a restraint, since you're bigger, and grabbing her app and calling the police and saying she's right now hitting me. Come here and arrest her for assault, and having it legally on the books that she hits men.
Yeah.
First of all,
this is how you know these chicks are not thinking about this outside. They're not thinking about it from our perspective. And I would ask Courtney, you have a son, so the shit you're gonna hear her talk is like, this is the bullshit you probably telling your son, which is why this is the bullshit you telling your son. Because I can tell you, my mom told me if a bitch hits you, you lay that bitch out. Now I know that ain't gonna work. But I know that's what she said. I know that ain't gonna be no excuse. I can tell the principal, but that's what my mom said with it. So y'all don't ever want to always know what these women got to tell y'all. So I try to handle y'all. But anyway, you lay that bitch out. Like, damn.
Your second point first. First of all, no one cares that women hit men. When you say legally on the books that she hits men, no one cares. She's not going to get punished for that. So that's not a deterrent at all. Second of all,
nobody cares that women hit women. Women getting an assault charge don't really move people.
If I restrain her, if I grab her wrist, it's going to be a mark. So guess what? We're both going to jail.
Oh, you're
right?
super strong.
I am protecting myself.
And then you smiling. This ain't funny. And this is why you use language, lay bitches out, because you let them know I'm not fucking playing with you. This ain't no cute shit. Well, this is not a laughing matter. Because when y'all get y'all ass, I wish I had that video of that gay dude that put that black woman on her ass. Because he was 6 something, and O'Shea did a video on that, and he told her to leave him alone like 3 times. Dark skinned gay dude, dreads, so it's like, he fits all the stereotypes, right? And she was like 5'3", and she kept on doing something, and I don't know what he did, but the next second she was on her ass, and she felt her, and all them females are laughing. Now, just because he's gay, that made it okay. Good and well, if he would have been hetero, that wouldn't have been what it was. And that is that right there, that lack of objectivity, even in their own argument, shows that they want to be able to determine when they want to be outraged. And that shit has real consequences in society and the law. That is the real problem black men are really talking about. Not so much what they talking about. It's that shit can mean whatever that shit changes with the bitch. So Courtney could believe that, but that's Courtney's opinion. If you weigh that against all other women that's going to have this sync up outrage, no.
Training her, doing what you say I should do, and then when the cops show up and see my fingerprints on her wrist, we're both going. And that's the best case scenario. Because
so what should you do?
But hold on, Kay, let him finish. Go ahead, Lee.
There's nothing you can do, dumbass, because this is the society that we're in. The only thing you can do is do what your parents told your brothers. Avoid the situation, which is something dudes should not have to do. So so what it is, and this is that feminist bullshit.
Is your solution is the best.
That feminist, and see, that's the bullshit. This is how you know you're not really having these conversations.
I could restrain her. The cops show up. They see bruises on her wrist, but they don't see any bruises on me. So now she's free, and I'm going to jail.
Right.
And remember, we're not even talking about verbal abuse either.
cops have probably been raised, especially down here in Georgia, under the assumption that men don't hit women regardless.
Yeah.
That's why it's all messed up on all different levels.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're restraining, you're talking about
She's just trying to find a way.
Restraining could be a bear hug and telling her, you know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
Why you guys breaking
all these? And Lapeef don't usually. Why? That nigga said, "Fuck this, I'm out." This nigga like Shark Tank. I'm out. Like now it's time. Nigga, this some good promotion because I'm like these niggas. Like I know people in the chat like shit. I may not like Anton to disagree, but this shit is at least when the lead attorney on this bitch is entertaining. I'll show up for the clips when he's on.
Right.
This is good promotion. They don't care why you watch as long as you watch. Y'all gotta let me finish.
The bear hug thing threw me off.
Not let me talk.
Why you guys breaking down?
Y'all gotta let me.
No, because your you're passing the bullshit threshold. You don't like. Apparently, all this you done learned that you kept telling Kevin.
Edward, this whole discussion was about the women trying to create justification for them being able to slap a man and get away with it. Yeah, that was what this whole discussion was about. The women trying to do all kinds of permutations and gyrations and rhetorical gymnastics to say, I should be able to slap your ass and you should be able to accept it because you bigger than me and you a man.
And
that's what that whole discussion was about.
To preserve status quo, and these are quote unquote the good women, right?
Exactly.
These are the see, you know who else you should bring the fuck on there? Because she'll show her face. You bring up fucking Kendra because you think lead attorney's bad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, I hit the button. But yeah, you think lead attorney's bad? Kendra get your ass on this bullshit. Cause she can say shit like, now if a man lay your ass the fuck out, and she's a woman, then y'all gotta answer that. You know, that's why anyway, let's go.
The bear hug thing threw me off.
Not let me talk. That was just
but the man is gonna protect. They're gonna protect themselves. If the woman out of control, they're gonna protect themselves. In the story.
The problem, Courtney, is you too old not to understand this bullshit. That's the problem. You talking in a way that's like disingenuous at best.
They don't. She totally understands it. It was all about them trying to create a justification for a woman to be able to get away with hitting a man.
See,
that's what it was all about.
Because I would have said that. I'm like, I know where you're trying to end up. Like, how you putting words in my mouth? See, so maybe I'm not qualified, but let's go.
Okay, please stop and let me talk.
All right, talk to me about the bear hug.
Okay, so I'm not even. That's just an idea.
Lead attorney need to be doing objection. Objection.
Objection. We must settle the bear hug.
He should be like, lead attorney should be like, objection. Bullshit.
Listen, you got mad because I cut you off at the bear hug. So fine, finish your point about the bear hug. I'm sorry I cut you off at the bear hug.
I'm trying to finish a sentence. So even with that, but
get your lies straight. That's what I would have said.
If you hit her, being that you're a foot taller, you don't think that's
once again.
There you go.
And the problem is it's like whack-a-mole. You keep trying to come back the path. Once you see the pattern, it's like you get mad, but it's like this is what correction looks like. This is what correction looks like. For all of y'all that want to talk about correcting, this is what, and you notice how the other dudes either shutting the fuck up or they're in agreement. And even like Lauren is MIA, whatever she's doing, you still see Amira and she's quiet. There's no help. And then I don't know what this nigga on the lower left is doing. He creeping. He like, yeah, man, she light skinned to me on the picture.
Stop.
I don't know what this nigga doing. Maybe he's on the bench for this clip. So it is. Let's see.
Going to be an imprint more than trying to constrain her, than fight her. And if she doesn't get anything on her, well, no, you don't get anything on her because she's not strong enough to do any kind of bruise on you, but you're able to bruise her when you fight her and the police come, who getting arrested? The police, when they come, they're looking at who is more messed up.
Not really. That's what they tell yo dumb ass. These people are talking like white folks right now. Like they're trying to tell us the law as if the law applies to us the same as them. And I'm like, bless your heart. You're either a liar or you're actually dumb because either you believe. I don't know which is worse. And I believe she believes this.
There's no
They
telling.
do.
Courtney
When
is
the police
saying
There's
come,
no
the
telling
police
what's gonna
come.
happen.
no. Yeah.
When the police
Situational.
come, when the
Situation.
Why you think black women get so angry if the shit don't go their way when it comes to the law? Because they know what the fuck they expect to happen. Men are like we going in the fucking casino,
Right.
and
Right.
if they come back just breaking even, they like, oh shit, praise the Lord. They come back like, you know, hood service and racism doesn't exist. Shit, you know, I've been vindicated. You know. They go in there like fucking Bill Cosby. They don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. They may put up a good face, but yo, these are good. If for nothing else, these fucking stills, yo. I could do a lot with these stills if I wanted to.
And when it's not. When the police come, they examine the woman, they examine the man, and they see who is more battered.
Okay, what's your point that you're trying to
I'll
make?
tell you my point.
I can tell you from a personal perspective. I can tell you as a kid that like my parents got into it, and getting into it means if my stepdad hit something, the wall was abused like a motherfucker. Because and my mom would do some dumb shit that she would actually, when he tried to leave, she would actually get in the way of the door. And my stepdad never put his hands on her, and he always got cut the fuck up. You know, my mom is one of them women that would get that spoiling water if you. And I'm not saying she's abusive. My mom got anger management issues, but the point is, and my mom's 5'3", and my stepdad was 5'11". So I can tell you, that's not like that. If the man is cut a little bit, what they're gonna do, it depends on the state. In North Carolina, they're gonna be like, they're gonna pull them out there, they're gonna talk, and then they go document it. And if it happens over and over again, then something may happen, which ended up happening when they both went to the court, went to the police station, leaving kids unattended, which is why I decided to take a roller coaster ride in the foster care for a year, me and my brothers. You know, and I'm 13, my brother is 8, my middle and my younger is 3. All because of one dumbass decision, which to be fair was driven by my mom. She's the one that went to the courthouse first, because that's what women do. So again, they're talking, and if I was gonna be diplomatic, I would say me talking to y'all about shit like this is like me talking to a white person. It really is, because you all are kind of thinking about it in the same way. And I would point that out, especially with somebody like Amira in there, if for nothing else, to let her know, like, this is like what lead attorney said was not because of your race. It's just the dynamic. Now, see this dumb shit these black females are saying and how they're going about it? This is kind of what you was doing. And she probably might see it a lot better, because she's like, wow, okay, yeah, it's the same thing. Because see, for her, this shit makes sense. Because if you put your hands on your brother and he smacks the shit out you may not be like, look, don't close fist her, but you smack her. Like, they'll never say don't close fist your sister, but you can smack her. And what happens is, if this shit happens, then it's like your family or people are going to they're going to make a quick judgment as to what you did. So they don't tell you the rules. It's just you find out what they are after it went down. And then depending on what type of household you're in, they're going to be like, why did you put your hands on them? Now, usually when this happens at much younger years, where a boy's kinetic impact isn't the same. So if they're like 5 and he's 7 or whatever, and something goes down, it's not the same kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So okay, don't do this, because they're not going to be on my side if I know I started it. And that depends on the household. And see, that's what they're missing. Because in the household, what the boys are told is that these women are to be protected at all costs, and they're never giving context to that. And again, there was a video she did in which Lauren even said that that's because these women don't tell them how to protect themselves against other women, because they would see that as protecting themselves against them. That's how women see it. And that's a problem. Because again, that's them having this zero-sum bullshit.
My point is when Lee said, well, I'll get arrested because of me restraining her and holding her hands, my thing is, you're going to get more arrested if you're fighting her and she has a black eye.
Courtney, there's no such thing as more.
The problem is, Courtney, is you are looking at this shit as a woman hitting a woman. That's how you're looking at it. That's how I can tell that's how she's talking about it. And the reality is, that's not, they don't look at it the same way. We're not even going to get into if you got an assault charge, how everybody's making like having an assault charge. It's not the same as having a sexual charge, but it's in the same ballpark. it's like it's in the same kind of, it may be on the lower grade of it, but it's in the same ballpark. It has that kind of effect, you know, and the fact that you have a blind, like she's talking as if she has an obvious blind spot to this, and yeah,
more arrested. That's like me more pregnant.
hold on. Like Lita Tardy is going off.
My thing is, you're gonna get more arrested if you're fighting her and she has a black eye.
Courtney, there's no such thing as more arrested. That's like me more pregnant. You can't be more pregnant.
It's
Either
not
you're pregnant or you're not. Courtney, come on. You're taking these long soliloquies. You don't want people to
I'm not. I'm giving legit
even
scenario.
JR was like, I don't understand what you're saying. No one's you're saying more arrested.
Courtney, are you?
I know these things like. I mean, I get it. They got a show to run and they got to deal with these people all the time. The lead attorney is like he's like one of them. You know, he's not a guest star for an episode, but he's a guest star for the season, so he can do this shit. You know, so I get it's like some of the villains that are not gonna be like the series villains. They're kind of like the villains. Yeah, that's what it is. And the thing is, like this, people do not expect black men to always be wilding out, but when time comes for it, this is exactly
I'm giving.
There's no such thing as more arrested
okay,
for
well,
a man.
excuse that I said that, lead attorney. Okay, that was a misspoke. Okay, so
you're
excuse
the one
me for
saying that words matter.
Hey y'all need to make sure y'all super chat that, man. Now y'all here. So for all these people in my chat talk about lead attorney being gynocentric, because again, you got dudes in my channel to be like racism doesn't exist. So if somebody checks racism, y'all automatically see that as gynocentric. You know, like I said,
I'm saying excuse me for saying that.
Well, that's why I cut you off.
Okay, let me explain what I'm saying.
Like that feminine bullshit ain't gonna work. You're full of shit. You're out of order.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of order. You're not about to fall back. See, and now they kind of put themselves in a situation because they edified the lead attorney. He's cammed up, so they can't run away with the cam up shit. They can't do that. So now you're seeing when they got to stand on the shit without the bullshit.
Yeah, without the diversion.
What I'm saying is that
we're
talking about now arrest and who's going to get it.
Look, the dude on Lord left on this shit get good now. Oh man,
fingerprints or restraining her and calling the police calling the police would have I think more.
This is exactly how white people were reasoning this shit. Like for real, like you just need to comply. This is that bullshit.
Fact.
This is the woman talk about black culture and all that.
Then you fighting her and you're bigger than her and making more bruises on her. And when the police come, they're going to look at you and her and see who's more battered.
Well, I actually have a difference of opinion on that. And I'm going to say that right here. Shout out to Pablo Escobar, who's doing an Obsidian after show. So if y'all want to check that out, because I'm about to end this, and once this is done, y'all can definitely do that. Y'all should be subscribed to Pablo. It is a crime that Pablo does not have 1,000 subs. Fuck you and this old nigga prejudice you all have. You need to stop having it. It's about real shit versus not real shit. And just how you saw that dude who was probably in his mid-30s on some hoe shit. You know, hoe shit comes in all ages. But yeah, man.
You want to know what this
reminds me of? And they're going to arrest the person that has the least bruises on them.
Are you this reminds me of a conversation I had with my son.
Yeah.
He just missing. He want to bring up everything else but what we talking about in order to try to be right.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about right now? I know what you're saying.
I think y'all missing it.
Yeah.
You know what the interesting thing is about this whole thing, JR, is that the whole thing just goes and
y'all are missing it. And you trying and Kay trying to defend Courtney. Y'all both missing
it. No one is defending it.
Amira done got her fucking cat. Say, look at this bullshit. Look at these Negroes. Brandon Tatum is right. Damn, Brandon Tatum got 1.6 million subscribers. Anthony Brown Logan got 800,000. They said, fuck you niggas. I'm out.
She trying to pick you up. Both of y'all are missing it. Both of y'all missing it.
Ladies,
under no circumstance should a woman just think she gonna hit a man.
That's exactly it.
If they hit the man, it's gonna be up to that individual man whether he responds.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, hold on.
Nobody should.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Because some people will have a mentality that I know I'm going to jail anyway. So beating the living shit out you, quite frankly, it's gonna be the same assault charge. So why just stop at just smacking your ass if I'm already going to jail? I might as well make it count. You know, that's the Chris Brown theory. He said, I might as well make the bitch
As long
count.
as I'm good, if I gotta go, I'm going all the way.
Yep, exactly. And y'all don't know if a nigga gonna come to that conclusion. Well, it's like when these white boys be like, I'm not going to jail, and they just kill themselves. Ain't nothing you could do with that. And the thing is, you don't know. But the truth is, the way society is supposed to work, you all are supposed to have men have this. Take the women out of it. Men have a understanding of, if I say the wrong thing to you, shit might pop off. And it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? So we have that barrier. We damn sure had a barrier if you put your hands on somebody, shit might pop off. Women don't have that barrier. And you see that in how they even deal with each other. Honestly, slapping the shit out of a female will protect a lot of women, because women will, it's just like taser. This is gonna sound fucked up. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. All my middle fingers are up. Just like in the police, they tase your ass so you know how that bitch feels. Y'all could read. I just said that when motherfuckers are younger and they're play fighting and shit, like when they're under like 6 or 7, and they get an understanding of that in a controlled environment, a lot of these women don't get that. And then they have these fucking ideas. It's like white people talking about, shit don't exist, or the law is the same law, as if it's applied the same way. This is how they're talking. It's like y'all are talking like women hitting other women. That's not how it's gonna go down. They're gonna say, no matter what she did, you did that. They treat men, in many ways, they treat men hitting women worse. They treat like white people shooting black people. Because they'll say at the end of the day, you probably did something to justify getting killed. Or we'll say at least black men. But at the end of the day, the way the prevailing thing goes is no matter what she did, you still took it. It's like a soldier having all his power. You're not supposed to use that. Doesn't matter what they did. Anyway.
Be mad at it in the story. Be like, what's going on? Be like, what's going on?
You know what else is sad? You know what the interesting thing about this whole thing?
How y'all gonna make a wrong right now?
Nobody should hear
That's not making no sense.
I think that Courtney.
Amir's like, this is who black people. No.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Interesting thing.
This dude on the lower left, man. Did he buy a ticket to just be in the guest?
The thing about it is that they will spend 99.9% of their time trying to get you to figure out how to be more reactive instead of solving the problem, which is you should not put your hands on a man.
And these are the people Anton trying to tell motherfuckers to marry.
Remember
that.
Yeah.
Fucking sneezing. All right, let's go.
First thing everyone
said. You don't even get into this situation if y'all need to spend more time having conversations with women and saying, hey, you're not equal to a man, you're not as strong as a man.
You know what I would say? This is how you really fuck them up. I would say, give me some scenarios as to why a woman would hit a man. Come up with some scenarios. Well, I didn't say. Well, y'all keep saying it happens, so clearly this shit happens often enough to where y'all want to make up all these fucking scenarios and bullshit like Dr. Strange in that time stone. So why don't y'all tell me some scenarios as to how this would happen, how it would start, because that gives us more insight as to how a man should react.
And keep your hands off of him, and you won't find yourself in a position where he got to try to restrain you. We're not even having this conversation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, that was interesting.
Yeah, well, what you saw there was
Kevin Samuels does characterize. I would characterize him as pro-black.
Yeah, and I think there's some question about how good or bad that is lately. But
there's pro-black. Hold on, I was sorry, smooth. Like real quick, there's pro-black and there's pro-gynocracy. Most pro-blacks are pro-gynocracy. They're actually not pro-black. Silent said it's never okay to hit a woman unless you stretch first.
Damn.
I was always told you should never close fist a woman.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing was about it was about privilege. It was about women trying to somewhat unskillfully justify them being able to do something to men that men should not do back to them. That's what that was all about. That was all about, let me create some kind of scenario, some kind of language, some kind of hypothetical situation whereby I get to hit you, pummel you, maybe, right? And here's the other thing too. You know, it's not just the hitting that's the issue, which is an issue. But what about the humiliation? What about the denigration of your being able to put your hand on me and might not be able not might
Look
not
at the
being able to
situation
respond in
Jay-Z
time?
was in with what
Right,
Solange did.
right.
And it's like, I don't know how y'all niggas, and I don't give a fuck if y'all don't like Jay-Z. The reality of the situation is that's Solange knows if she were to do that to a white man, or even if you look at Quavo and Saweetie, these women know that if they do this to non-black men, there is a different outcome. Okay.
Hmm.
They know that, which means they understand. That's why I understand where you're coming from. You say they understand. They understand. And they ain't just white men. You play with Latin men like that, they either go get away. They shit. Because their whole families come
Edward,
to life
I think if they did that to
for them.
anything other than an ADOS man, if they did it to an African man, they would get a different response.
Yeah, now Africans believe in the grabbing shit. They'll grab
Yeah.
you. They'll definitely grab you. They may will hit you, depends. But the thing, and this is why, and they don't even understand it because they're not the most belligerent assistants. But it's like y'all don't understand. This is when I say that like you have that like enabling group and that buffer group that
Yeah.
really circled the wagon around the real fucked up agitators. This is what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Because women like them, they will empathize with females like that. See, this is where women like Love Dorsey and Crimson Cure, Kendra, become very valuable. Even though they're operating from different class levels or culture like groups, they still serve the same purpose. You know, Love Dorsey gonna say, I'm not saying that men have the right to hit women, but they have the right to hit women back. You know, and if yo and she'll say it in a language that makes it very clear. If yo dumb bitch, because she knows, because a lot of times if you see these videos and see what happens, these women don't just be just play hitting dudes. These women be wild, and some of these women just be going out of control, busting TVs. Like you see some of the stuff when they're in McDonald's and all that, they be out of fucking control. And so I'm not you all, well, people hit black women because they're sanctioned and whatever. But the thing is, a lot of these guys are not used to women wilding out like that. So they operate out of fear. Black women act like they act like motherfuckers are used to their bullshit, not up front and personal. A lot of these groups are not used to their women wilding out like that. And y'all could try to hide behind racism all y'all want to. But motherfuckers are not really just going out of their way to find black women to just smack around. Black women are a protected group. So y'all people need to stop acting like they're completely not. So and I'm not justifying anything, but it's just like if you go to the hood with jewelry and you get robbed, legally they shouldn't have robbed you. But your dumb ass shouldn't have went in the hood either. You playing with shit and Darwinism's gonna run its course. So when I hear Courtney and them talk, this is that buffer shit. And this is like the shit that keeps it going. This is what Pink Book was talking about. That buffer bullshit where you want it both ways. We're telling you, you cannot have it both ways. You are going to have to pick. And the truth is, Kay and Courtney, and Danielle to a certain extent, they believe that black men having a conversation with them is synonymous with us being open-minded to a negotiation of surrender. That's really what they do. So they keep on trying to. I'm curious as to what she said with Obsidian. I'm gonna be curious with that. And shout out to Obsidian. He's got 18,000 subscribers, so he's definitely been growing, even though he's been on that kind of hiatus, but for needed reasons. So that's good. I'm glad Obsidian's getting his due. He's put a lot of work in his channel. He definitely deserves to grow. I don't agree with everything he says, but he deserves to grow as much as any of these other guys that's popped off.
True.
And what it also shows is dudes can change, because we know Obsidian used to be a much more bigger flamethrower. And but yeah, yeah, man. I mean, you talking about, well, what if you bear hug? What if you do this? What if you do that? I would have been like, how about if I slap the shit out that bitch? How
Yeah.
about that? What will that work? well, you're going to get more arrested. Well, understand something. The charges are the same no matter if I break her fucking nose or if I just grab her ass. So I might as well give her a lesson she can remember. That's how some dudes think that way. No, nigga, you don't do that. How tall are all you motherfuckers are over 6 foot? I'm 5'5". So I don't got time to be thinking like that.
Well, I think
that's what I'd say.
I think Reed alluded to it, but I wish he had gone further down the road of, because as I said earlier, it ain't just the hitting, Edward. It's the humiliation. It's the denigration. It's her reinforcing a power dynamic over you and lording it over you.
And the thing is,
she can always incite some sort of situation with you as long as she's able to dangle over your head the notion of calling the cops. So it's actually kind of a low grade form of terrorism.
And dudes actually buy into this shit. And that's the problem. So when because dudes will come in and say, that's a female, you ain't supposed to do this and do that, do this, do that. I'm like, yo, nigga, your women are fucking destroying your children. They don't, you think they do this you think they just doing this to motherfuckers bigger than them? What the fuck you think that bitch is doing to your kids when you not there? This is what I keep saying. You all cannot protect black women and black girls from black women because y'all can't go past holding her accountable. It don't matter, hit whatever. Like, I'm sorry, I gotta bring it to what happened to that 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
He said she was a great mom. That's what she said. That is not a young dude. That fuck everything. That's the thing that stood out to me more than everything. She's a good mom, though. That be one of them niggas that Minister Jack. You in Chicago. How are they covering this in Chicago? Because you local.
I pay very little attention at all to local news. I don't know.
Too. That meant for your mental health. Yeah, because I'm wondering about this nigga in the bottom lower left hand corner. Damn, man, you ain't watching WGN? Like, come on, man. He's like, we need. Well, I get it. I used to, when I was young, watch what is it, Hercules and Xena shit. That that shit used to play on WGN like a motherfucker. Yeah, now you know I was in Chicago at a certain time.
Yeah, I mean, but it's that whole thing. It's all about some humiliation and control and denigration, and I think lead attorney. I think his response. I think his particular energy had to do with just this whole notion of you should be subject to being denigrated just by virtue of your gender. Ironically, I mean, we've spent the last 50 or 60 years or whatever talking about how women are not supposed to be treated bad just because they're women, and now basically they were making an argument that you should be willing to be treated badly because you're a man, especially if you are a relatively bigger man. You should be open to be abused.
Was it from today?
I saw that clip. I saw that was a good clip too. Which is it? You may not have the time, but that was a great clip as well.
How long was it?
How long was it? I don't think it was very long. I think it was about 9 or 10 minutes. It was very entertaining. It was very entertaining.
Well, shit. What is it from the day or what? Like,
it's in there. It's a recent one. It may have been after in terms of more recent than the one you.
I'm kind of going through it right now.
Yeah. Because they seem to be kind of snipped in chronological order.
Caller simps all the way out for his woman.
That may be it. That's definitely the subject matter that we.
All right, so let's go.
Doing your doll, whatever doll it is, it's literally just drag and drop.
You can drag one of these core progressions in.
On this episode of Lapeef, let's talk.
Oh no, we always like to, because they always like to give the end. We want to give. He do. I'm not trying to judge, but that dude do give that some energy. He got that look like he say he be in the bar. He one of them old niggas that pop up in the barber shop. Whenever some sip shit needs to be said, that I was talking about way back when. He looked like that. I'm sorry. And then I want to say something, but my barber
No,
my
don't say it. I
real
know what you're
hard.
gonna say. Don't say it.
He like real hard because he know if I move my head, you gonna fuck up my hair. You always
Yeah.
move,
But listen, you say.
Everybody
Listen,
agrees
y'all
with
keep
that.
saying. Listen, y'all keep saying. Well, nobody should hit anybody, and then you go back and make a case for when the woman hits the man and what the man should do.
Chicago,
Yep.
please let me explain why this case is
You don't
being
have to
made.
explain it, Kay. We done with this. E-Black, what's going on? What's going on? Respectfully.
I'm enjoying the conversation.
After hours.
Okay.
Look, I would let it come on after hours to discuss it because it's a whole lot of stuff to bring up. But how y'all doing?
Oh God.
His volume is lower. I don't hear
Why you ain't back on your post at work, man?
Man, look, man, fuck that job. Nah. But anyway, how y'all doing, man? First of all, the real reason why I was calling it was about feminism in the school system, right? I think with any any type of education, you're gonna have rage at the injustice. So that's kind of where I think a lot of times we get
redirecting the blame.
Like racism, you learn about if you take enough Black Studies courses.
This bullshit, domestic violence. Let's go. Let's see
you're gonna get enraged at the injustice. If you learn about banking, you're gonna get enraged at the injustice in the banking system. If you learn about like TLA, the law system, he's gonna get enraged at the injustice in the system. So when it comes to education, and you learn a certain level of the injustice that's going on, you're gonna become enraged. I think I forgot that author. I keep saying Langston Hughes or some other guy, but somebody said that. But anyway, that's my point on that. TLA, you mentioned something very specifically in terms of how my approach to my marriage is. I've been homeless.
I'm a submissive husband.
Yeah. I'm a
I already know where this is going. I already know, and I think he was about to say he's homeless, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm crafting a theory called the what was that cartoon? All dogs go to heaven syndrome. Where these Negroes, because Ryan Davis did the same shit. When women take care of men when they were homeless like that, dudes will be like a loyal dog in that way. They can do no wrong. This is
they loyal for life.
This is a homosexual disease. I'm gonna call it all dogs. I'm gonna call it rescue hound syndrome. I'm still working on it. Let me know which one's better. Rescue hound syndrome.
I like that rescued hound.
Yeah, all dogs go to heaven. But the rescue hound syndrome. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Let me write that down.
But mercy or something.
That's a good damn title. Why you niggas got rescue hound syndrome and y'all need to shut the fuck up. All you niggas with rescue hound syndrome. That sounds like something Obsidian would be able to use too. Sounds like something Kevin would use too. Rescue hound niggas. All right, let's go.
I've been shot at. I've had a hard life. You can take anything from me. I'm a man. I'm a recreator. I'm the original man that was created on this earth.
Oh man, the hotel. Here we go. The hotel. I'm Osiris.
What did you hear when I said anti? What it says about anti's views by bringing He definitely on that hood conservative Trey side of the fence. Like I told you, and these niggas are not playing with you niggas. Like for real. Like so, it's like come on, y'all see it in real time live. A little cut. Let's go.
You can take whatever from me, and I will rebuild. I do not live in a fear-based society. I do not get married because I have a fear. I do not sign contracts because I have fear.
Anton don't give a fuck about you promote marriage. He like, nah, we don't need you here.
Yeah, you're not good PR for our team.
When I got married, I didn't sign a prenup because I knew that at the end of the day.
No, the question is, did you have money? Did you need to? Like, that's another thing we gotta be fair.
Maybe she should have signed a prenup, but go ahead.
They ain't about to. They just now starting to do that, and well, that's another story.
If she took everything away, I'm man enough to rebuild. Now I understand
you
you
just proved this point.
Hold on. Did you see the eye roll? Hey, did you see the eye roll by Lee when he said that?
If she took everything away, I'm man enough to rebuild. Now I understand.
He like this nigga.
Like, let's go. Like, you can watch. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You can watch this shit and I may do this because, like I said,
you watch it in fast motions. In some ways, it's almost worth watching it in slow motion.
Yeah, like watch it on mute. This a great. If somebody is like a body, like one of the body language experts,
Oh yeah, this is great body
great
language
show.
training.
Thank you, Anton.
You literally just proved his point without him saying one
I
word.
understand what you're saying, but I understand from TLA's standpoint is that the men cry, they get mad, they swallow a red pill, and then they want to rage out.
Jesus.
But that's fine. That's what them cats want to do.
Be fair to Anton. Even he said that's look. I talk about these niggas too, but that is an oversimplification. Even Anton, like, yeah, it's I'll at least give him not a whole paragraph, but at least a couple of sentences. You just get, and then these niggas are like red pill advocates. I mean,
no, not at all. In fact, I think the presence of the lead attorney has kind of, because even like especially JR is more robust in these series
it
of
definitely doesn't have any negatives because like they're about the same size. They're actually grown, like, because I know last time I checked Lapid, it was like at 50, so probably at 60. They're both
so I think he raised the testosterone level on the panel there.
I won't say all that, but I mean you're an older dude, so you can throw that out there. But I will say that he definitely what it definitely did was change the dynamic a little bit more. And one thing too is, well, yeah, it's worked, so it definitely worked, and that's credit for them for bringing him up because they had shit. Cause they had Talk with Yanni. They had fucking Six on there.
Getting a little wacky, yeah.
I think the lead attorney is going to provide them a lot of cover for a lot of stuff. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way either, because I think he pretty much addresses a lot of the stuff people are really jumping on him about. But let's see.
Dude, that's what them cats want to do. But I'm not that type of man.
Hold on, look at this.
They get mad, they swallow a red pill, and then they want to rage out. But that's fine. That's what them cats want to do. That's what them cats want to do. But I'm not that type of man. I love my woman, and I will forever be indebted to her.
So, what did I say? Fucking rescue house.
I mean, I'm hearing in my head that Ralph Tresvant song. That sensitivity song.
Yeah, and I used to play that song a lot.
As this guy talks, I'm hearing that song playing in my head.
I used to like how that song sounded. Like, I like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a greatly produced song, and the performance is nice, but man, the message is.
Well, the thing, and then see, that's the thing about me. Just like when I listen to gangster rap, I can see that as a metaphor for motivation, and I know how to do it. But just like how motherfuckers see gangster rap as a religion, people see that shit as a religion too, and that's just as damaging. Now that I think about it, you got like.
So whether you guys want to believe,
you gonna be indebted to her, bro?
Yeah.
Even Anti.
Damn.
And this is like
Anton, this nigga.
Antidaniels.com.
You gonna be indebted to her?
Look at the lead attorney. Look at Lapid.
JR get his head down like, damn, man, you going out like this?
And one thing about Mira, one thing I'll say about black women is they wear their emotions on their sleeve, man. A lot of y'all niggas gotta know how to deal with females that got poker faces. Because those are the ones that can get your ass, especially if you ain't used to dealing with no female that deals. I don't even mean necessarily relationship wise. Because a chick like Amira is not necessarily a female you're most likely gonna deal with, I don't know. Well, clearly she's over here, so
well, in a society, Edward, where a woman must submit, one of the things. Yeah. Well, let me finish. In a society where a woman must submit to men, she must develop a poker face, because in that society, she may catch one if she demonstrates displeasure at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And I don't say this in a bad way, because I know certain people feel a certain way, but Lebanese move kind of like Jews in a lot of ways, where they know how to move through society. Like they know how to move, and they there to
they know how to be white when they need to be, and then they know how to not be white when they need to be.
Yeah, because you got to understand with Lebanon is a small country that's completely it's water, and then they're surrounded by Syria. And you know the crazy that's been going on in Syria. So and that area,
you don't think of Steve Jobs as being Lebanese. You don't think of that at all.
A lot of people don't know that. And then shout out to Marcus Lemonis too, who's CNBC show The Prophet. He's Lebanese as well. So yeah, and because you don't think about it, but
there's a subtlety there that they learn to move with. Yeah.
Yep. So and if you don't know how to see, if you don't see that and understand like the power in that, like you don't even know what you're looking at, and that makes it even more potent. And this is why I always separate. When I separate like ADOS, not ADOS, I'm looking at different culture patterns and culture modes. And a lot of dudes got blind spots to it because y'all been taught we all the same, we all equal. But some people are moving with better plays than others. And y'all don't understand that and pick up on that. For everybody want to talk about game, niggas kill me with that. Let's go.
She's done more to me than anything else in the world. And you've said that about. So whether you guys want to believe,
you gonna be indebted to her,
like
bro?
I said, this is Exhibit A of Rescue Hound Syndrome.
Yes, she's done more to me than anything else in the world, and you've said that about your wife.
No, I said my wife add value to my life. I didn't say I'm indebted to her.
But you.
You know what?
I'm not like you, nigga.
This is a great dude for Anton. This is a video he could always go back to. You know,
don't get it twisted.
Yeah, he said there's a deal. Let's see. Hold on. King Trail. Hold on. All right. All right, let's go.
You said that also that she.
You said, nigga. This nigga don't ask for a lifeline.
You like me. You with me.
Don't ask for a lifeline now. You know, before somebody drown and they get thrown off a boat, they see the water, and then you see the people looking down, but it's all blurred up. I'd be that dude looking down, like, hey, no, I'm gonna make sure.
No, nigga, that's you down there. That ain't me.
I'm gonna make sure you sink before I leave.
Will be taking care of for her life. So,
but I also said that.
Shout out to Johnny Vegas. Edward, you ain't shit. You remind me of one of my buds back in the day. He broke it down like an OG. LOL. See, Smurgo said, "I'm the CEO of getting hit by bitches. Let me know if you need my input." And and like I said, well, let's, you know what, and what I'm gonna do too. Let's see where that I should definitely check where that
that getting hit, I guess, is an occupational hazard of pookies. Huh?
Yeah, BGS would definitely agree with that. Hold on, let me see something real quick. I'm gonna scroll down to see how long is that post still up with. I never got to see that Auburn Preach post, but Lead Attorney started to be them dudes where you get him on there and then they fucking pull it's going straight to Patreon bullshit. You got to do a trial, got to drop that $5. Yo, could you imagine if so apparently it never went past 6,000 comments in that show. Could you imagine if Lead Attorney was on DJ Academics?
Oh, shit.
That could happen next year in 2022. Yeah, let's see.
That I'll never get divorced, and I never said that she can take everything that I've ever created and leave me with nothing, and then I'm supposed to rebuild from scratch. That's a no-go.
Oh well, you say divorce just ain't gonna happen. So I don't know if you about to be on some Thelma and Louise shit, or you don't even talk about divorce. So that's
I would be concerned about Anton if his wife divorced him. I'd be a little concerned.
Lead attorney, lead attorney. That's why I'm surprised you had a divorce.
Hopefully Lee can get to him before he do something drastic.
Yeah, being prepared is just like having life insurance, man. Marriage is sort of a life.
Well, I mean, that's your fear base. That's your fear base.
I don't.
Well, I mean, that's your
ever.
Base.
Hold on.
Me with nothing, and then
remember, you talking to Anton. Anton is Mr. Get married and stop being a bitch. So
supposed to rebuild from scratch. That's a no-go.
Well, I mean, that's your fear base. That's your fear base.
That's not fear. You're not taking my stuff. I work for it.
Oh shit! You might reveal this nigga. We might see the Anakin Skywalker at the beginning of him going to the Sith.
Right.
Now Anton is starting to see the type of niggas we talk to.
Yeah.
Like, if what you say is true, then just send me all of your shit and start over.
Right.
Oh my god. The reason why I like the lead attorney the most is like lead attorney, and this Tasha K tried to pick up on this. Lead attorney knows how to conduct this. He could be at like an office party around number white they be mad, but in a way that like they can accept it, but still like they they ain't gonna put. Oh man, they had their hands on their cell phone dialing 911. They be like, in their pocket, like ready to press the button. They be like, they let their hand go and just pat the pocket. Like, nah, no need.
He's not gonna hurt us. He's not gonna hurt us.
He's a lawyer. He's got too much to lose, or does he? Let's see.
You're a rebuilder. Just send me everything you have and start over. Since you're a rebuilder, but you're not going to do it.
You're telling me send you or to send my wife?
No, send me because you like.
Yo, I'm not trying. I know y'all don't like me cutting this shit off, but goddamn. Like these still look at Kay. Kay's like, even this is too much bullshit. And then I'm like, Amira still ain't changed her face.
No.
You know who Amira reminds me of? What was the chick that played Michelle Pfeiffer? She had that thing where her face never changed. Like in the Batman. That's what she reminded me of.
Like to start over, right? Let me give you the opportunity to start.
Look at Lauren.
Look at Lauren.
Let me give you the opportunity to rebuild. You're a rebuilder.
Let's be honest.
Chicago really trying to cover it up.
Like, damn. This dude might be one of the best guest in caller. He might be for entertainment value.
Having a relationship with a person, I'm giving her.
I'd be like, this is the nigga y'all want. I'd be like, this is the nigga y'all want us to be, ain't it? This is y'all end game, ain't it?
Right. This is the ultimate result of what you want a black man to be. This is it. This is the end result.
Yeah, I've set it up too. I'd be like, dude, I need to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on here, and I mean that because you are Exhibit A of what they want us all to be. You are the ideal. You are the template.
Not you.
SYSBN. What does that mean? Look it up. Find out what that shit means.
Before it's too late.
I be saying that shit like on the panel, and they don't be knowing what the fuck that means.
What does that mean?
Like I say something like it. SYSBN. Nah, man, it's a term. My family says, SYSBN. Yeah.
No, you said you're a rebuilder. You said you've been shot at and homeless and you like to rebuild.
By the way, Glenn and Cameron also been shot at, I believe, and been homeless too. You don't hear him talking that shit. Because he know what it's like to get divorced.
I mean, I've known guys who've been homeless and all that. I don't know any of them talking about giving away all this shit to some woman. So I don't get that philosophy.
That's that. Well, it is. That's that rescue hound syndrome, yo. That rescue hound syndrome, man.
Give you the opportunity to rebuild. Send me everything you own.
Let me be honest with you. Let me put it to
because you've been lying up to this point. So let's go. I've never understood why people say that. And I say it too sometimes. Let me to tell you the truth. So I'm not acting like I've been telling myself. So you've been like my uncle used to do that. So you've been lying this whole time. I know. Like, so you just talking out your ass then. Like, damn. I'm done.
Since you want to bring it to that point.
No, this is
since you want to bring it to that point.
You own.
Let me be honest with you. Let me put it to another.
Oh Lord!
You want to bring it to that point.
No. This is a point that you raised. No. You said you were a rebuild.
Oh yeah, shit, Lapeef. He turned the hat around. That must mean.
And the sad part when you listen to this, you almost think that if this conversation went on long enough, he would end up giving all this shit to the lead attorney. that's the sad when you listen to his tone, and this is rather submissive to him.
This is the fresh and fit. These niggas need fresh and fit. This is who the fuck.
So it's almost like I think if he were serious, he could probably get this dude shit.
This is Walter. This is fresh CEO before he met Myron. Let me stop talking shit.
Opportunity to rebuild.
If I was to put myself in a position to where I had
Chicago really shit. Like it's hard.
Keep covering his mouth up.
give you to you,
but you don't have to do it with your wife.
I'm not gonna cry.
You don't have to.
What did he say?
If you were to,
He said, "I'm not gonna cry."
Position to where I had to give you to you,
but you don't have to do it with your wife.
I'm not gonna cry.
You don't have to do it.
So if I put a gun in your head right now and tell me, you know what you, and I say, you know what you would cry about, if I told you to let me give me your wife, and then she actually started to come over here, then you start to cry. That's when you want to kill somebody. Then,
with your
dude,
wife,
the fact that he said he's not gonna cry makes you know the first thing he gonna do is cry.
Yeah, he looked like he cried.
He like he about to cry now.
Your probability of crying is high. You look like one of these niggas that would cry in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess the lead attorney is Devo right now. Give me your chain.
Yeah. The lead is just, man, brutal.
You don't see that you are your perspective.
Well, this is an intervention, guys. If y'all don't know, they're trying to help
them.
Towards enabling women, right, to be able to justify doing this. You don't believe that this is the behavior that's actually.
Notice these hoes ain't helping.
No.
They letting your ass drown because you're a pawn. Your job is to be a crash dummy.
Yeah, well, and they don't see any problem with he giving up all this shit because he giving it up all to a black woman.
Notice they not helping, and also, let him say,
he's advocating our gynocratic cause.
You know what
Why
would be
should
funny
we stop
if it turned out his wife wasn't black?
Well, yeah, that would be actually fantastic, but yeah.
A dynamic where men are getting taken advantage of because of this narrative and this perspective that's being perpetuated.
These niggas that vote Democrat.
About society. See, it's different for me.
No.
I think, since you're going to take away abortion, then all men should be forced to have a vasectomy. I mean, it's reversible. He one of them niggas.
I do think that women do take advantage of the system, and they do reap their benefits on another man, and they do take advantage of their justice.
Wait for the butt, guys.
I'm saying is that whether or not
to be fair, he didn't say but, he just jumped into it, so we'll give him credit for that.
And they do take advantage of their justice system. I'm saying is that whether or not I'm gonna be okay. God, TLA, he quit his $100,000 a year job for what? YouTube?
$100,000. What are you talking about? I don't know.
I know, but I'm just saying.
That's called toxic. That's that Toxic K shit. That nigga got that shit from. You know he got that shit from Toxic K. Ain't nobody else has said that. You really think this nigga quit his job and still pretending to be a lawyer for YouTube? He don't give a fuck about you niggas like that. Like, are you serious? I mean, honestly, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, man. Y'all know good and goddamn well if the lead attorney said fuck being a lawyer, he's prime to he may start lying, but this motherfucker's going into politics. He got that look. You know he getting a local position. He'll be one of them couple of black men quotas, and these females be like, you know what, I like the lead attorney. He got.
Hey, have you ever heard what he said?
Hold on. Let me slow it down because it's
$100,000 a year job for what? YouTube?
100,000.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Why you think the lead attorney is gonna quit getting money from these white folks when they wives are fucking them over? Have you seen Divorce Court in that documentary? And he getting that good black money too, because I mean, you already know the attorney know how to talk to these rich black men to be getting fucked over. Because you see it on here. I mean, this is a walking advertisement. Be like, if I get divorced and I'm in Atlanta, this motherfucker what I'm going to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'm in Atlanta and I've seen this guy, yeah, I'm definitely hiring him.
This nigga know how to talk that talk, and he also know how to code. Yes.
Why?
Don't lead attorney look like a motherfucker know how to talk to that judge.
Yeah.
You ever heard what he said that he charged per hour?
Jesus Christ.
Fuck litigation. Do you know how to talk to that judge? That's what I want to know. That makes a difference.
I don't know.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Why? Hey, have you ever heard what he said that he charged per hour?
Jesus Christ.
TLA, that laugh was just
This is my gym, guys. It's with me 24/7.
Attorney for 20 years. He gonna put me at 100,000. Jesus Christ.
I see some niggas don't know what attorneys make. See, damn, he laughed at that shit. Like, are you serious? Well, that gives you an idea how much money he's pushing.
I apologize, my guy. All I'm saying is that you're man enough to walk away from that much wealth. I'm man enough to walk away much wealth. What's the difference?
The difference
He's walking
is
away for another opportunity. He's not giving away everything.
Here's the difference. No, wait. Let me tell you what the
First of all, this is what a lot of people don't understand about, and this is where the bullshit comes. You know, I forget the dude that was married to Jennifer Hudson. They had a kid with her. This is when she was big. And this dude was in the WWF, and he was a lawyer who's Harvard trained. He was in a partner law firm, and then he kind of made it. He was in a situation where he was still working there. Like, law is different. Like, there's levels to it. Everybody, once you get up there, you know, you can do what the fuck you want to do if you know how to bring in the business. And all the 80-hour shit is what motherfuckers are doing in order to get to a certain point. So if you've been doing it as long as lead attorney's been doing it, he got his money. And lead attorney don't look like he just spending his money like bullshit. You know, you motherfuckers probably got investments, so he can practice law in a way he wants to practice it. So
that is convenient.
Yeah, he could. He could do pro bono. Somebody could hire him. I mean, it's not like a job in that way. There, you know, and so I don't know. Whatever, man. This nigga don't talk about.
The difference is retiring. The difference is I've worked 20 years and now I'm not rebuilding. Your situation is that you will be penniless. How can you ask what the damn difference is between being financially set and being penniless? I'm not starting over. You are starting over. That is clear. Wait, you asked me what the difference is. I'm explaining to you a very significant difference.
Yeah, I forgot about that because you're in the military and you retire. Oh man, you quit being in the military. No. Oh my God.
Someone retires, they are not penniless, hopefully after 20, 30 years of working. The difference is huge, Eve. Like this
is how these niggas think.
Everything. You are penniless. Wait. You asked me what the difference is. The difference is you are penniless and I am not. You are rebuilding and I am not. That's the whole point.
But no, it's not the point, because the whole point is the fact of like the matter of this.
Damn, you said fuck it, put him out of his misery.
If you're a real man,
oh God,
there you go, the real man,
the language of the bitch,
the legend of the real man.
Where's fucking Minister Jap when you need him? This nigga needs a treatment.
You built anything?
Oh wait! Oh my God! If you're a real man, Jesus Christ! Did y'all hear that? Wait! Did y'all hear it? Sometimes victims can't even understand what they're saying. He said, "If you're a real," he said, "If you're a real man," did everybody catch that?
Amir ain't changed her facial expression at all. I just want to point that out.
All right, Black.
And this is what I'm saying. This is a K. You see, K's like, yeah, this is somebody I could get money from. This is a nigga I could probably give him a hug once a year and get 100,000 off this motherfucker. Because you know what happens when you hug a dog the right way? They'll never leave you alone.
They'll love you forever.
She got that. Yeah, I probably didn't gotta hug him. I probably just gotta, smile.
Look at him, bat my eyes at him.
Yeah, don't gotta touch him.
I'm done.
Y'all 1% guys be all caps.
Oh, so now it is. So see
now the rich successful brother he on cap.
Let's see what Anton does, because that's Anton gonna be like, nigga, you talking about the rich niggas now?
Yeah.
Let me.
I'll tell you that. But,
see, Anton, nigga, and I don't be watching they shit. I only watch this. Whatchamacallit says so.
Like this, I'm gonna tell you like this. Adam lost the whole Garden of Evil.
Oh God, we go from the pro-black to the pro-Christianity. Nigga, pick a delusion. See, I told you they don't gotta pick one because all this bullshit permeates everything. I know BGS in here. I know he in here talking about as an agnostic. Like, nigga, get your shit right.
Eden. And he still rebuilt.
What they don't tell you is Lilith, even nigga, before Eve, there was Lilith. This nigga, oh my God, these niggas.
What's going on, bro? What are we talking about, dog?
Okay. Wait. Samson lost his first wife and then he got remarried.
Oh,
no.
Like, this is what the fuck, and this is, and honestly, the thing you need, like, I got a question for you, straight up. Now, people will say, I did bring that AC star. I want y'all to understand how this shit connect. I brought that AC star up shit just because I felt like it, right? What's the difference between AC Star, outside of AC Star getting mad? When you heard what AC Star was saying initially, talk about let them live. The AC Star and them don't look like they be the same dude, like, necessarily. But that, you see what I'm saying? I didn't even know I was gonna play this. That's that mentality.
No, it's the same mentality. It's the same mentality. Yeah.
And this is the problem. And these anyway.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Real talk.
That's bullshit.
Real talk, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm always open to the possibility that I'm wrong. One of the things that was beneficial for me.
That's a damn lie, but go ahead.
Yeah. When the lead came on my show, is I just let it, you know what I'm saying? I was literally observing because I wanted to hear his insight as a person that's been a 20-year divorce attorney, right? Now, I took the information that he gave me and I put it together with some, what I already have experienced, right? And it gave me it helped me to make more informed decisions. You got to be open to the possibility that you're wrong, is what I'm saying. You got to be open to the possibility of learning new information and making more informed decisions. That's what we do when we have conversations with people that are experts in their field and they give us, a completely different scenario or more information that helps us. You got to be open to that, bro. It's not always a debate. Sometimes it's just a conversation that helps us grow, right?
Well, and like I said,
I could have sworn somebody said that last week, didn't they? He's the professional, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not just talking about for E Black, but I'm just saying that came up. That he was a professional, and he was making his argument not too long ago.
I can understand.
It still wasn't respected, even as a professional.
I can totally understand TLA's standpoint. All I'm saying is that certain men are not built like TLA. I'm built in a different manner. I do not care about these earthly things.
And give them to me.
Okay. If I had to.
No, you said you don't care. Not if you had to. You just said that you don't care about your earthly possessions. Then give them to me.
Yeah, T.O. trying to take his shit. Here you go, trying to take his shit.
I'll send it to you. Send me all your money.
Here you go, trying to take his shit again.
The mirror probably broke. Yeah.
TLA, hold on, TLA. I want dibs on that Tupac poster first. Hold on.
I want the cash.
Shout out to Big Guy Journey. He's like, yeah, a real man just gives all this shit away. That's not a real man.
No, a real man understands that when they lose things, they can recreate and they don't cry about things.
Then give me your stuff.
And give me your stuff.
Black, you losing and giving it away is two different things.
Lauren,
final thoughts, E Black. Final thoughts.
I'm sorry. And like I'll tell this.
And shout out to E Black, man. I apologize. Maybe listen. I stayed in the sauna too long today, so my energy is a little bit off. When I got on the show, I just came out
trying to backtrack.
I stayed in
you know, 1% shit, nigga. 1%.
Right, rich guy stuff.
So my energy is all right.
And look at Anton, with the fucking robe.
I apologize. E Black, you my boy. My boy. I apologize. My energy isn't really where it needs to be. I need to tone it down.
No. Your energy is perfect. Stay right there. Don't.
Anton. Did you see TLA just low key flex? Did you see him low key flex?
I told you. Like, you fucking nigga, you square ass motherfucker. Yeah, he caught that. I knew.
And he just came out the sauna. That sauna in the house.
Yeah, and a real man will just give it away. Hey, girl, you want a
Take my sauna that I had to charge X amount of dollars per hour.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was
But
good.
they'll
Yeah.
think that's a minority. That's not a minority. It's not a minority. It's not a minority. Most black men think
No.
like him at some level. They may
Yeah,
not be
yeah.
as
Most of
crazy
us
like
have
that.
a kind of a martyrdom thing going on in us, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I keep telling y'all that's that fucking guilt. That's that fucking guilt. Yeah, girl, just give me your cat. Yeah, but and the thing about it is, women are not like today's women don't have because women used to be like, okay, you're not gonna just give me shit because I don't know what your crazy ass might do when you want to collect. So women
Mm-hmm.
would be like reserved on that. But now, you know, with city girls and shit, apparently, you know, like these women, give me this, give me that. This is what they being told, and they don't understand. And see, y'all can pull that shit with like y'all need to really be careful about that with non-black men, because non-black men is not giving you shit without something. Not no real money.
You know, R.I.P. Mercedes Moore.
Yeah, and that happens a lot more than what people think. You know, even with the Chad Wheeler thing, these motherfuckers when they do that, see, yeah, black men may do that, and even black men don't do that to a certain extent. But that when I say I'm talking about giving up money, but when non-black men do it, they don't believe in that. They don't believe in you just give it up. And so that's a lot. Whatever, but yeah, man, it's a lot of dudes that like that is not the minority. That is the majority of men. Now, there's varying degrees to that shit, but because AC started him out on the same degree, but at the same time, that shit manifests in very different ways. And it's like, and this dude, it's like, dude, it's not about the shit. It's about the time. It's about what you put in the shit, you know. And you would and the thing about it is you also talk about the humiliation and shit like that. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
dudes, because they don't have a true understanding of what protection really is. I'm like, and if you really want to go there, I'd be like, you think this dude really, you think he can say he give up his life for his wife? Fine, I could believe it. But you really think this is a dude that's going, if you don't have a certain sense of pride of stuff that you've attained and built, what makes you think you really gonna have what it takes to really protect your wife if somebody want to do something? That motivation shit comes in, and you don't understand that. And so I'm curious to see what his wife looks like. His wife, you know, I know
Yeah, I
he's
mean, it would be
like,
funny if she weren't black, but she probably is.
well,
So,
I'm talking about if she big or not. I know, y'all.
oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I know. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I play it the way I want to play it because, if y'all really want to see it, y'all could go to the channel and actually support it.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
you
that's
can watch
kind
it
of,
at your
I
own
put the
pace
link
at any
down there,
time.
and that's kind of like a low key way of me really doing that. To kind of, because I do believe in paying that forward. But anyway, yeah, that was good. Like I said, they be having like talk about, oh yeah, y'all be, long ass streams. They be having long ass streams. It's just everybody cammed up. But yeah, man. I mean, that nigga waited all that time to say that bullshit. Yeah, man, you know what a real man is. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Like even the language you use as language of female. What a real man is. Like, are you serious? He said he gonna give.
Well, the sad part, Edward, is for some men, when you when you don't when you don't have much, or you haven't really achieved much, then it maybe the whole notion of being totally sacrificial, uh, you may perceive that as making up for your lack of achievement or accomplishment or material resource, that I'm willing to sacrifice everything I have, even though it's not a lot, but I'm willing to sacrifice it all. It's a way to maybe try to balance the scales, contrasting to maybe like a lead attorney where, he has resources and accomplishments and, fine
Well,
education and that sort of thing.
yeah, and that's the problem. The problem is, dudes, look, I'm not saying that you should be belittled, because there's certain respect that men should have. But see, this bullshit where dudes be what they try to do is he tried to use the material shit that these bitches want across the board and try to act like that was really him trying to low-key undermine a high-value man argument, saying, well, I'm a real man because, you know, I you know, at the end of the day, I'm a man. But see, at the end of the day, you said everything you are is because of a bitch.
Well, and he even said that when he said that you 1%ers are on cap. So he actually directly said that.
Yeah, and he said, but you started off with everything I have is because of a bitch. You know, I've
Right.
been this, I've been that. She saved me. You need most of these dudes that need to be saved. You need to be saved. So you already kind of forego like your manhood authority to try to tell somebody else about themselves just off that point. You know, and to a certain extent, that's something that a lot of people always jump on Anton about, saying you always talk about what your wife did, and you could have did what you did without your wife, but you justifying that for marriage. I'm like, every nigga don't need to be like that. So you just see a more really extreme version, but that's what a lot of people had a problem with Anton with, that he didn't really catch until maybe he just heard it in another way. And it's not about necessarily being self-made, but when you say everything you are is, yeah, it is. That's what I'm talking about. It's that rescue hound bullshit. And you got a lot of dudes that either they got nothing but daughters, and I always bring you up and bring folks up to let people know everybody ain't like that. But we know what a lot of these niggas be trying to default to. Especially, you gotta understand by who you a certain age. So you come from a certain time. Like when you look at like millennials that are like that, yeah, that shit needs to be looked at differently. Because millennials are like that, are listening to this rapper shit where they got this quasi disrespecting women, but at the same time, this Madonna whore complex bullshit going, where they want to be sips, but like they want to disrespect women, but they want they dog like that bullshit going. So it's a different scenario. But you got that. This nigga want to bring up religion. He want to bring up the Hotep bullshit, which what you see, what six goddess, all these people always go to. You know, they always, and this is why Kevin pushed back on the Christianity shit, because these are, let me see. Appreciate it, lead attorney. Absolutely. And I appreciate the show. Because I definitely think I'm not, and they, you know, they already had a great platform in the first place.
Yeah. But I definitely think he helped to balance some of the energy there in a positive way. And I especially appreciate his effect on the women there. I think that they have at times been out of order, and I appreciate him putting them in some sense of order, at least temporarily.
Yeah, why you here? Like, you know, appreciate the lead attorney with the $100 cash app. I wish I had like a really big soundbite like all these other motherfuckers have. I gotta step my game up. But what I'll do instead is promote the link. And definitely, like I said, y'all should subscribe. It's been very funny. And I'm not gonna take nothing away from Abba Preach as well, because I know that probably has something to do with it. But when Tasha K cussed you out, and then basically in 48 hours you got like 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers. This is why people typically don't mention people at certain levels, because that could happen. And like I said, I was joking. I was serious. I was like, look, the lead attorney is a likable guy. So I mean, the reality is, if you throw people views at him, it's gonna stick. So you saying all this bullshit, you like white women, you look like you can't get no black pussy. I'm like, all right, man. I mean, y'all be really out here. She, like I said, Tasha K didn't.
And the way that Lee handled the talk about vaginal discharges, that's some hallmark work right there.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. You know, and this is true. You know, Kevin. And I'm not trying to compare nobody or nothing. Kevin has been in this space, but Kevin really didn't get this kind of universal praise. Kevin had, like, I definitely rocked with Kevin, but Kevin had his detractors. Maybe as people have kind of accepted a little bit more now, so it's easier for other people to come up. They're not as like, well,
yeah, Kevin had some asshole moments. I'm gonna, you know.
Oh yeah, and another thing too. Yeah, so the thing about it is, like I said, you know, even when Kevin got to 120, it was like the average at best moment it really launched it. I'm gonna tell you, Lead, you need to have more moments like that on a Lapeef show and see if Kevin can help you get that shit on World Star. Because you be like that moment, that domestic shit, yo, that shit could have been a World Star moment. That shit could have been a World Star moment. And it's in a way that's not really, belittling. So you ain't gonna have motherfuckers crying, talking about that's a 36-year-old leader. Don't start hating. Don't start hating. Smurgo be fine. Like, but yeah, let's say I would never listen to a show like Lapeef without a brother like TLA to balance out the goofy. Well, I mean, like, yeah, because again, they got to deal with these people all the time, so they have different calculations. So it's kind of like it works. And like I said, Amira, being there does it too. Like I said, I'm gonna start watching that shit. If nothing but for the fucking gestures for some of these motherfuckers. But anyway, because they got a lot of content on there, but it is what it is. Yeah. But and Lauren too. Shout out to Lauren too.
The lovely Lauren.
Yeah, so we'll see. And shout out to Obsidian. Like I said, Obsidian is getting to 18, so he's getting up there as well. And it's interesting. I've heard Glendon Cameron kind of mention he's seeing these other YouTubers mention lead attorney. I keep telling Glendon that one thing I would like to see him do is to do more interviews with folks. I think that's more pertinent now than it has been. Well, y'all keep talking about Throne. See, Smurgle, I don't think that way. I think in collaboration, we need all hands on deck. I'm not on that Throne bullshit. Everybody has a role.
What's that you're referring to? Throne?
Smurgle talk about how long before lead attorney has a throne from Kevin. I don't think like that. Just like I didn't think like that.
No, it's not Kevin. A zero, bro. It's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
it's not one pot and everybody's got to fight over the pot. It's you're making more pots.
Yeah,
you're making more pie.
Yep, you've got the professionals. You're starting to have a military class. You got the professionals, the academic, the military class. A lot of these people are camming up. Some of them are, some of them aren't. The thing is, this is building out the space and creating like a Chitlin circuit. And even people at certain levels. Like, look, I'm not gonna say, like, obviously I'm gonna reform my channel so I grow a little bit. But you'll have to understand, even channels that are like under 10,000 have a role, because we can say shit and not give a fuck. Not saying that people can't say shit, but we can say crazy shit. We're kind of like the underground, so we can say shit and really not give a fuck. That some people may have to be a little bit more diplomatic on, because we're at less risk. So everything has a role. So we didn't. The thing I always say, and I'm gonna end it with this, and I'll let you have the last word. Let me read his super chat. If the lead attorney in a city would do a show, man, that would be excellent. I think it would be. Obsidian would have to. With a problem, the only issue with that is Obsidian would have to condense what he says, because he can be like, I know I'm long-winded, so who don't know how to fucking talk, but lead attorney needs his. It's like, if you're gonna have Chris Paul and Russell Wilson having the ball, no. One person's gonna have to be the point guard. One person's gonna have to be shooting guard. That's the only issue that could happen. But they're older dudes. They know how to do that. So shout out for Shy Guy, Fly Guy for the $5. What I would say is, we did not do all this fucking work for this shit to just be about certain people. We did this work to provide a just like 1.0 did what they did. And even though 2.0 had to kind of come in and rebuild some of the shit, they still laid that initial proof of concept, right? And then people came in and we did this shit in order to provide a platform for eventually other people to see something that they could come into and actually build a channel off of, and then they can show. So now you can't make the fucking cam up argument, because you've got plenty of people, mediocre, poor man, 8-0s, 9-8-0s, light skin, not light skin, different professors. Shout out to Pocket Watch with JT. Shout out, whether Anton and them want to say they in a manosphere or not, at the end of the day, they're black men. So people are going to perceive them a certain type of way, irregardless. I know that's a word, but I like saying it, so fuck you. Anyway, so that's the point. That's where the shit goes. So me personally, when I see people grow, even I'm not on fuck that. They grew past me, they got the throne. Because a lot of people, I ain't say it, Smurgo, but a lot of people use that throne shit as a mechanism to start hating on people. And the shit we do is bigger than that. And like I said, Smurgo. But like, honestly, I wouldn't interview Love Dorsey because my channel's not big enough. But I would like to see her go on the lead attorney shit. I think that would be an interesting interaction. To be honest, maybe because Kevin, the thing with Kevin is Kevin can be too much of a lightning rod, where there's like a consequence to people coming up on there, because people just are so emotionally driven by like what they think he represents. The lead attorney is not at that situation yet. But he's got a solid amount of subscribers, can really amplify shit, and YouTubers are going on there. So that could actually work, but like at least for one interview. But anyway, Pensive of Door says, do y'all got projections for what this space will look like in a couple of years? Is it too late for them folks to try to put the kibosh on SYSBM? No, because the biggest promoter of SYSBM is black female fuckery. So even if this space got destroyed, yeah, that's the biggest promoter of SYSBM.
I only see SYSBM getting bigger.
Yeah. And again, and like I said, yeah, that's all. And Shy Guy Fly Guy, sorry for the typo. Shout out to $2. Shout out to Pensive. And like I said, shout out to Elite Attorney for the $100 cash app. I do appreciate that. I mean, I don't know what y'all think so much about me that I would handle Love Dorsey. I mean, I don't know what y'all think I'm going to fucking do as far as, have a great interview. I'm not the best interviewer in this space. Like I said, there's people that are much better at interviewing people than me. And, a lot of that is my, it ain't even so much my temperament. And shout out to Solo Key for the $5 cash app. I appreciate that. It's just, I got a low tolerance for bullshit. Like I know, like I really do. Y'all know. So anyway, we got any last words, Lead Attorney?
Are you referring to me? I mean, not really. Thanks for having me up. It was great to share commentary with you on the videos. It was very entertaining, and there was a lot that came out. I know there may have been some impatience with how dreadfully slow you were going through the videos, but I do think it was an informative exercise because you know what? It's not just about the message that's being conveyed. I do think body language, eye contact, tone, I do think it's informative for Black men to become more fluid in these things. I'm sure Lead Attorney, given his profession, would agree. Not only hearing what people say and even hearing the words, but when they say it, how they say it, the energy, the tone. I think that's especially important when you're dealing with Black women in particular, because they say a whole lot non-verbally. So I think from the vantage point of kind of really doing a play-by-play on the intermediary reactions, the eye rolls, whatever, that kind of thing. I think that is informative. I think there should be more of an examination of behavioral science, if you will, in this environment. So I think that was a great experience. It was fun as well as I think it's informative. I hope the other people who observe what you were doing feel likewise. So thanks for having me up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that being said, this is another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson, and I'm out. Peace.